Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. Okay, so that should have been a clue that everybody can hear us now, right? Yeah, cool.
Yep.
I still don't know why it is. That channel points are disabled for. An error occurred with channel points for. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Gotta do. Okay. Accept terms of service. Oh, okay. Okay. So that's why. There was a terms of service thing that needed to be done, and then now that I've accepted that. Okay, so we've got phrasing and done with phrasing.
Rainies.
Uh-huh.
He's sifting through some of the rewards.
And it's just 500 channel points. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. And yeah, we're going to remove that. Jesus Christ. Bloody Mary. Good God, no. Okay, so if I try to do it for that. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, if we try to do it for that, I'm just going to move... Jesus Christ, no, we need to move that to, we need to change that to something else.
Mm.
Yeah, need to move that to somewhere else, dude. That doesn't need to be a channel points thing. That needs to be an extension, because that's, like, really... Okay, because Bloody Mary, the Archer Bloody Mary thing should not be channel points reward. Absolutely not. Yeah, I'm gonna delete that. That's gonna get removed. Okay, so yeah.
Do that every time.
Because if I don't remove these, good God, the abuse that's gonna get added to that shit. Let's see.
I swear it doesn't do this weird Discord
the...
crashing thing with anything else. It's only this. It's only when I use the camera.
Okay. Wow, I type in Rimuru and there's only 2 Rimuru things. That's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's really effing sad. We've got to get some more Rimuru stuff in here. Maybe we'll try and get some... Maybe I'll upload some sound files for Rimuru. Slime Abridged. We'll put up some Slime Abridged stuff. Slime Abridged. Let's see. Slime.
Oh, speaking of which... I got something this weekend. I went to one of my local game stores. Or, like, they saw, like, a bunch of anime stuff. And I found a slime blind box. Check it out.
Oh?
Oh, you got... Oh, yeah. That's neat.
Yeah, he's like a little, like, cord holder. So, like, you can put the cord...
cord holder?
Yeah, so, like, you can hold the... Or you can have him hold the... What was it? Like, the microphone cord and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, it's kind of cool. They had Milim, Rimuru... Who's the tan dude with the blonde hair? I forgot about him again.
That's Veldora.
Is that
Carry
Yeah,
on?
that's Veldora.
Carry on or Veldora, like the only two
Veldora.
like that.
I forgot that he looked.
That's Veldora's human form.
That's right. So you can get Veldora, Milim, Diablo, Rimuru, or Ranga.
Alright, I'm gonna try to reset the camera one more time.
Yeah, dude, your camera never like truly works on my end. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Your camera always freezes for me. So
yeah, your audio is good.
Can one of the sound alerts be magic bullshit sounds? I mean, probably. Yeah. I'd have to work it. I mean, here's the thing: the sound alerts actually works for our Archer Bloody Mary. Okay, so I think it's... Oh, God. Okay. Okay, there's gotta be...
Sorry, I found something amusing.
Archer... Danger Zone!
Guys, please stop fighting. You got to live, laugh, love.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Open, and that's going to be an extension
Fantastic.
for 250 bits. Yeah. And add sound button.
Streamer.
Archer. La la. Danger zone.
Danger zone.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Lana.
What?
Lana. Danger zone.
It's so stupid.
It's been a long time since I've actually watched Archer.
I fucking love Archer.
Yeah, the little that I've seen, I enjoyed it. I did see the crossover episode with Bob's Burgers. That was hilarious. I really
Yeah,
liked
that
episode.
was great.
Yeah. It's just
Oh my
I
God.
like it when they do that. Crossovers are fun sometimes. So
What's fun is they have. There's been an episode that had Burt Reynolds in it, an episode that
Stop.
had Kenny
Jesus.
Loggins in it.
Hmm.
And they actually sang Danger Zone too. That was the best thing.
yeah.
Oh god.
Let's see. What should I draw while we're waiting? I will take requests.
Hmm.
No worries.
Yeah, I can't find the sound clip for the thing anymore, so I'm just done like looking for that one specifically.
Menu Saum.
Menu Sauma.
It's like a sauma in here.
It's a Sauma.
Yeah.
It's like a menu Sauma. I don't know what menu Sauma is, but Sal Slime movie thought it was enjoyable. There you go, Matty Ice.
Do you see it in like theaters?
Bray.
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
Oh, cool.
My brain just suddenly went menu Salma Hayek, and now I'm just
Salma.
Salma
picturing
Hayek?
Hayek with a fucking.
Yeah.
Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
I did do the
the
thing, by the
fuck?
way. I did do the thing, by the way, so we could start reading, because I did do the ladies and gentlemen of the congregation part, so we
Yes.
can actually get
Okay,
started with the
so-
reading part. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I had the
Who's
theater
first,
to yourself.
Master?
Yeah, the
That's
theater
pretty
to
awesome.
yourself. That sounds like COVID theater times, because I went to go see. No, during 2020, my local theater was kind of shut down for a bit, and then around September, I think they were showing 1984 Ghostbusters,
Nice.
and I got to go see that in theaters. Like, I had the whole fucking theater to myself, and I got to watch Ghostbusters on the big screen. The original Ghostbusters up on the big
beautiful time.
screen, and it was just me, and I had a ball. Like, because nobody was there, I got to just enjoy. I was like, bro, that was
sounds
great.
like an iconic movie.
Bro,
And that
had
reminds
I
me of the
known,
time me and my cousin went to see Blair Witch.
had I known it'd be
at
just
midnight.
me, had I known it'd be just me, bro, I ordered so many snacks and shit, and just had a ball in there, man.
Yeah, you'd have literally 2 chairs just right next to you, like, as your thing.
I'd have just been like, hey, dude, sorry, it's just me. I wish I could have. Like, I tried to contact the local Ghostbusters
Tried to
troupe
get
down
around
here
one more
and
time.
get a bunch of people on. Dude, just
Fuck yeah.
give up. Give up on the camera, man.
I'm gonna try a camera one more time.
No! It's
if,
been
here's
this.
the thing, if it does it one more time, I'm gonna switch over to the desktop because I have it also have a laptop
Here's-
and that camera.
Here's the
It's
thing.
never
Or you
been
can
an
just
issue.
get
I love it.
Yes, it has. It has been an issue. It has been an issue
always
for
been
like
an issue.
over like
I meant
several
like any
months.
other thing I do, and any other thing I do, it's only with this camera thing or whatever.
Here's
so.
the thing. Here's the thing, sir. It has been an issue for several episodes. We just don't talk about it.
Oh, you never meant. Oh, yeah.
It's
that
like
would've been nice if
Fight
you
Club,
mentioned it.
man.
Your camera is Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. No, 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 no.
Yeah, and that's like when I
We
turn
don't
the
talk
cam-
about
I still haven't seen
Bruno.
Encanto either.
I have to turn off the camera. It just like everything freezes. Like, ah, damn it. That's how I have to disconnect. Like I can stream games on this and it works fine. It's like no, apparently it just doesn't want to show my face.
Sorry, the default pose.
As
they had
soon
you come
as you
back on
say that-
makes you look really.
The
mad.
default pose is hilarious.
Like I made like I was like, hey,
All right.
you know.
Except
like,
So where are we at
you're
now?
like,
So where are we at now? Are we on? So now I have a stack
like
of problems to deal with at once. That's where we're at? Okay.
So another one.
Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation, I already did the special voice before, so I'm not doing it again. You can deal with it. If you're reading the physical copy, we are at 103. If you are on Kindle, what page are they on?
122-ish. It depends, but you can just search for. So now I had a stack of problems to deal with.
If they're
Depends on how big your window is.
If they're on Bookwalker,
you can find it on page 116.
Or you can just hit Control F and look for. So now I had a stack of problems.
Yeah.
Also true.
Also true.
The,
I'm sad I missed Watch Party for Last of Us. Well, you should be, Crafter. You should be.
It was a damn good time.
You know, I mean, it wasn't. We didn't crack nearly as many jokes as we did in the first episode, but that's also because well, it was a 52-minute episode instead of an 80-minute episode.
And also shit went down.
Well, I mean, shit went down in the last episode too. You were cracking jokes about the devil's cookie as we were literally catching signs of the apocalypse.
True.
In the middle of the first episode of The Last of Us.
Literally the first episode of The Last of Us, you were cracking jokes about the holy woman baking the devil's cookie. I was like, you were like, "Are you making chocolate chip? Raisin." We were like, "Well, she deserves to die." And it was like, "God damn it."
I did turn to my dad when she said that, and I was like, "Man, they really do live in a desolate world." It's just like, "Hey, is it chocolate chip? Raisin." Oh God, it really is darker than dark.
Why the fuck?
No!
I accidentally closed it out. God damn you!
Yeah.
I did screen cap what happened with my camera freezing, everyone's reaction, and everyone just looks like they laughed at a really funny joke at my expense. I'm just like, dude, that's not.
Yeah, and because you did that, I accidentally closed out the freaking stupid thing.
Well, that's not my.
Yes, it is your fault.
Oh, did I control your hand? No, I don't think I did.
No, I was sitting here looking at the stupid thing that you were trying to show. Now I can't undo the stupid freaking...
Damage is done.
God damn it. How do I undo this stupid thing?
I don't know.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to...
Discord, how do I undo... How do I... Wait a minute. How do I undo this?
Okay,
have you tried pressing Control Z?
Yes.
Oh, he actually is trying it.
oh no.
How about I Control Alt F4?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I was about Control Alt fuck you.
Control Alt
this guy.
Control Alt butt cheeks.
Weekend, so.
How about?
Did he pull the cord out? Is that why Richie's having issues?
He's holding it because he's a good boy. Look at him. He's like, or no, he's like.
He's cable managing it.
He's cable man. Yeah. But there's like a hole underneath the Rimuru's statue part that like the cord can go through, which is kind of neat. So he'll sit here, I guess. It works.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing.
I hate you so much.
For what?
I might as well just set back the original setup because then I could actually see chat and everything. I'm just gonna put the laptop away.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
okay. How about we do this? No more posting shit in this little live show chat while we're streaming.
Okay. I didn't post anything. So.
Yeah. And tell him that when he comes back, because that's the problem. I can't close the stupid thing out when I go to look at whatever it is that somebody's showing.
Yeah.
I was sitting there trying to look at stuff, so that the ending was so creepy. I was expecting the death, but no. How about this? How about this? Daxter. How about this? Maybe shut the fuck up for people that haven't watched the episode yet. Because clearly how it ended was a little bit different from the game. How it ended was a little bit different from how the game ended at that moment. You know, there were some differences between the game and the show. So for people who haven't watched the episode, shut up. Don't spoil it for them. It's only been out a day. Shut up.
The second episode, or?
So for people who have not seen the second episode of The Last of Us,
Oh, okay.
treat it like spoilers and shut the fuck up in the comments. Shut up in the chat. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on Sunday. That way everybody's had a week to get a chance to watch it. That's why we do our reviews about a week later. Now, we do our watch-alongs on Monday. We do have a watch-along that we do on my server. We had Moon and Fenris with us watching along, and they're experiencing it for the first time. I'm experiencing the TV show for the first time. I will say that so far the first 2 episodes have gone back to kind of like the very early days, very beginning of the outbreak, and showed information that's not available in the video game. That is not touched upon at all, so it's all brand new information to us.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the way that the infection actually spreads in the show versus the game is different too, because in the game it was spores. In the game it was spores. In the show it's cordyceps tendrils.
See, and in one they have live action people, and the other one it's a game, so the people aren't live.
So you're interacting with it, and the others you're not.
Yeah.
Well, no,
When you use controller.
the way that the fungus actually works is different between the game and the.
How you interact with Last of Us, the controller or the remote?
No,
choose.
No, the actual way that the infection spreads between the is different between the game and the show, because they took spores out for the TV show because they realized that if they actually use spores like they did in the game, that the spores would be all over the world and they'd have to wear masks the entire time.
It's been a while.
So they couldn't do it.
Sorry.
The game is 10 years old. Almost 10 years old.
It was a Telltale.
It came out. No, it was Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog.
Yeah, that's right. There was a Walking Dead Telltale game. I forget about that.
And if you're going to compare The Last of Us to The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead is lame by comparison.
I have not seen either one. Well, I have not seen
that's fair.
the Telltale.
I'm sorry. No, I mean everybody can, and you could go all day long, but I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna call you on bias because The Walking Dead was filmed in Atlanta. So I'm gonna call a little bit of Georgia bias on you there, sir.
So I have not watched much of the show.
Okay.
But my source of comparison is I have played The Walking Dead, the VR game.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, after playing that for about an hour, getting real deep into it, you really start to twitch at every little step, every little sound you hear. You're sitting there just...
Paranoia stimulator, I love it.
When you are out of fucking ammo, you just have a knife, which, sure, can kill the zombie if your arm's not tired and you can jab it through their head fast enough.
You better hope to God.
Make a sound.
You better hope to God they never do a VR of The Last of Us.
No. Even if they do, I would play it.
I look forward to that.
You better hope to God. No.
I want that to happen.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't. You really don't.
No, you don't.
You really don't. You just got introduced to clickers and you thought they were terrifying when there were only 2. Imagine a horde of clickers.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I
really
played
don't.
The Last of Us.
You really don't.
I know what to expect.
I do, because that would be fun. Terrifying, but fun.
No, it would not. It'd just be terrifying. It would not be fun. Jeez. You don't... All right, see, here's the thing. You haven't actually played, so you don't know how easy it is for clickers to kill you. You don't know how fucking terrifying clickers are.
You have to get a specific upgrade to your character in order to stop them from...
In order to actually stop them from insta-killing you. Clickers can one-shot kill you if you don't have the proper upgrade.
I feel like I would be all for playing a Last of Us VR game. Yeah. I know what to expect with that. Oh, and God help you with the bloaters.
The bloaters, huh?
We'll get to those.
Wait till you get to the crazy fucking thing that Abby has to fight in The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, I saw that.
The fucking amalgamation thing. The like,
yeah.
You don't know what clickers are. I never played the game, but I somehow thought of Ugandan knuckles for them. No,
No,
sir.
no. I don't understand the comparison. But
Clickers are a all right. So
Think of
runners and stalkers are between 1 to 10 years of infection. Clickers typically are 10 years and older. Bloaters are typically what the infection does to you if you have been around for about 15 to 20. And they did show a bloater in one of the trailers.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yep. They have shown
How is
bloaters.
that going to function?
I don't know, but they are fucking bullet sponges. Those things tank damage, and you cannot fight them. You cannot melee those motherfuckers. At least in the game, you cannot melee those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
You get close, insta-death.
Yeah, there's a little animation of one just ripping Joel's jaw off.
No, I mean, there's so many different ways. Posture
gives him
check,
a big
everybody.
hug.
Stretch.
Already did the strips.
Stretch.
Hydrate.
And then hydrate.
I need to fill up my water.
Hydrate.
Jesus.
Hold on, let me fill up my water. Oh,
Jesus!
my God, my cousin's making haggis and it smells so good.
Haggis.
I never had that. I wonder if it's good.
It's delicious, depending on the recipe you use.
Take it. Hummus and haggis.
All right, so Shim, I believe we will have you taking over at the outset.
Okay.
On the
All right.
outset, yes.
All right.
The outset of the Last of Us.
Okay.
No slime. Jesus.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I was
The fuck.
Yeah.
Cordyceps invades the slime
We are
universe.
ending the talk about the middle of the first part of The Last of Us. Sorry.
Until part 2.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
All right. So now I had a stack of problems to deal with at once. But
Num
at
num.
least we knew exactly what needed to be addressed from floor 51 on down. Plus, the traps I laid out were still in fine shape. I suppose it'll only be I suppose it'll only be a matter of time before someone slays the Tempest Serpent, but there's no need to panic. That's the confident Rimuru I know. You have a plan? I thought so. I knew there was nothing to worry about with you around. The anxiety seemed to vanish from Veldora's and Ramirez's faces. It was very self-serving of them, but I nodded back and explained my thoughts. Right, like I said before, my traps begin to get serious from floor 41 downward. Those are bound to trip them up. How reassuring to hear. I suppose so, yes. And what kind of traps are these, Rimuru? Oh, is that what you ask? Better sit down for this. Well, the coup de grace are the slimes on floor 49. Once you make it past a certain hallway, you're cut off from the rest of the floor and confronted with a huge pile of slimes. Bad ones, let me add. The swarm of slimes would merge together to form truly gigantic slimes, almost 10 feet in diameter. The escape routes in front of and behind it are cut off, effectively stranding the poor victims. Physical attacks, slices, blows, heavy impacts didn't work on it, and in a closed corridor, not much magic was safe to use. Anything that exploded was likely to blow up in your face, so that was off the table. These slimes didn't have much attack force, no, but they'll maneuver to cover you from both sides, the classic pincer strategy. If you can picture edging closer and closer to the wall behind you as one of them advances, you can probably see how much of a threat they could be. Ho 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 ho! Victory is ours! Yeah, it's in the bag for us now. Not so fast, you two. I didn't stop there. I'm glad my initial salvo was enough to make them cheerlead for me, but there were a bunch of other traps, prepared to quiver in fear as I break them down. Slime pool. What at first glance looks like a bouncy, rubbery corridor is actually a slime, one that opens into a soupy grave halfway down. Slime rain. A storm of fist-sized slimes descends upon you, each one small enough to work their way into your clothing and armor. Watch out for acid burns. Or watch for acid burns. Slime doll. Looks like a monster at first, but it tirelessly takes all your attacks, gradually exhausting you. Even worse, each attack you try on it exposes your weapon to corrosive acid. Try not to let your equipment get destroyed. And so forth. I had other ideas, but for this set of floors, I wanted the focus to be on explorer harassment. Breaking their weapons in particular could make it impossible for them to fight any longer. It's the perfect way to buy us time. Brilliant. Truly, a brilliant selection of traps. So even if we don't defeat our enemies with these traps, we win as long as we can leave them damaged? That's right, Veldora. And breaking their weapon, and breaking their weapons is a good way to chase off the stronger contenders. I didn't think about that. Right. If you can beat them, it's fine. But now they're gonna have to think about what if they can't. It ought to buy us some time. And so, or for now, these traps wouldn't do much more than slow the challengers down. That was a shame, that was a shame, but we needed that time to come up with more permanent solutions. So what do you intend to do with the time you buy? Veldora asked. Better give a serious response to that. It's important we don't forget that our labyrinth isn't your normal run-of-the-mill labyrinth. This is the advanced dungeon, a newer, evolved type, and it's meant to keep evolving and growing more advanced. Yes, of course. So we just need to make adjustments so the dungeon can handle things better next time. First off, Adelman. I'll figure out something with him. I wanted to change up the atmosphere in his boss room anyway. Ramirez, in his boss room anyway, Ramirez. So I'll need your help. Sure thing. Adelman had made it up to the rank of cardinal in his life. I think his job was officially high priest or something. In a party, he'd be your back row support type. Leaving him to serve as a boss solo was a mistake. He needed to be paired with some kind of front row partner. I had some other thoughts as well, so Ramirez and I decided to visit Adelman later on. Next came the floor 70 boss. We'll just have to make another elemental colossus, I said, and the perfect person for the job's just come back. I could get the needed materials, so let's just take that approach. But it wouldn't be any fun to just build the same thing again. The perfect person? Ramirez asked. I nodded at her. Yeah, Kaijin is back. He knows a lot about spirit engineering, so I think he'll happily take the job. Plus, I think this will help with the experiment I was conducting earlier. I'll show him my research results, so I think you can expect an even stronger Colossus than before. Really? Oh, great! We couldn't produce immediate results for her, but with Kaijin on the team, we'd be stronger than ever. It wouldn't be ready immediately, but it'd definitely be a threat for the next set of challengers who made it down there. So, for floors 80 and below, I think that will work itself out over time. Once Zegian wakes up, your garden variety challenger will have no chance, let me tell you. And the dragons Milim should evolve for us once they spend some more time in the labyrinth. Kumara was a growing creature as well. No need to hurry things along. The question was just how much time we could buy for ourselves. Okay, so that'll be our basic plan. Now we need more time. And I don't think my traps are going to be enough, so there's something I wanted to test out. And Valdora, Ramirez, I need your help. But of course. Sure thing. They both affably nodded. I returned the nod, then looked at Masayuki. Masayuki, I'd like you to continue delving into the dungeon, but instead of going past floor 41, it might be best to focus on completing the Ogre series first. Very true. Very true. Sir Masayuki's activities in the dungeons are always good advertising for us, and I don't see much need for him to hurry. So I should let someone else get past floor 40 first then? Yeah. Alright. Yeah. I also think you should maybe stay away from us for a little while. I don't want you getting caught up in our plans. Are you scheming something again? Masayuki leered at me. Well, that's mean. He's acting like I'm always hatching some kind of nefarious new caper. He is, though.
Yeah.
Well, let me keep that under my hat for now, but we'll handle things on our end. So, Malimaya and Masayuki, I'd like you to keep things going as normal. Very well, Sir Rimuru. All right, I'll give the news to my party. Good then. Now to see how long my traps can hold out. Okay, if there's anything else, let's... one moment. I did want to discuss something. Just as I was about to adjourn the meeting, Molly Miles stopped me. I guess he had other business to address. What is it? Well, what Molly Mile had to say threw me a bit. Lady Hinata was asking me about her reward money for conquering the labyrinth floors. Huh? I reflexively replied. Those prizes, awarded for clearing every town floor, were meant to attract the nobility's attention. What did Hinata want with them? I mean, she did earn them, but she did not officially make it down to the bottom during normal operation, no. But as she explained it to me, if she played by the rules, didn't she deserve to get paid? Molly Maya looked concerned. Okay, Hinata. Yes, you're technically right, but weren't we kind of in this together? It was a test for us, too. And to them, it was on-the-field battle training. I didn't see how money had to be involved. No, you don't pay her an exposure, Rimuru. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's like unpaid intern or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Especially Hinata.
Yeah, that's not a good person to turn down. No, turn her down for me.
What is Red Robin? Red Rover. Red Robin's is a restaurant.
Yeah,
exactly. Do you not remember those commercials. Red Robins, yum.
Oh, are you doing the joke about Red Robins? And then somebody pops out, yum. Yeah!
Everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Damn!
Zombie just sitting there, just Red Robins, yum. Fuck.
You're Yeah.
No, they can't do that. They can't do that. That's not.
No. It would be the other way around. You'd be saying Red Robin.
I was
and
already
Zombie would
rolling
say,
my eyes at the Marco Polo thing. I was like, zombies don't talk.
What's another irresistible thing to
They
like?
say braids, depending on which one.
No,
you
they
watch it.
don't.
Oh, I thought of a good joke for a zombie for stabbing them in the head. You stab them in the head,
Once
put it on
again,
PA.
the concept of sneaking and stealth options in a zombie game, that whole thing started with The Last of Us. The Last of Us was the one that made that shit mainstream. Yes.
Which came first, The Last of Us or World War Z?
I think The Last of Us.
The Last of Us, yeah.
Yeah, the World War Z was like
World War Z
20
was
20
The
something,
book?
right? Oh, the book. Well, I don't know about the book, but I know the movie is older
And then there's the
or
game. I don't know.
younger than the game.
Like if we're talking about like real shit here, zombies and stealth have
No. We're talking about in gaming. Thank you very much.
I mean,
Gaming.
Yeah,
now we're
ta-
just going to start an
YM.
argument of who picked from what source.
We're talking about
Because-
stealth in we're talking about stealth in zombie games.
I get that,
The
but
Last
you're
of
trying
Us.
to say
No, I
The
wasn't.
Walking Dead got that idea from The Last of Us, right?
Yeah, the Walking Dead game got that from the Last of Us game because
So
that
The
wasn't
Last
a
of Us may have
concept.
done it first, but
Yes.
that does not necessarily mean that The Walking Dead
The
did it or
concept of
didn't do
that, the concept of that came from that. Yeah,
Concept of love.
the concept of understand. All right, cool. Yeah.
Understand. The concept of love. Sorry. Anyway.
Have you
No,
met any? How do you know?
Circle of life.
Like how we tried to keep this to text chat too. Didn't the Resident Evil games have stealth portion before The Last of Us?
Or Dead Space.
Dead Space.
um,
Dead Space technically necromorphs? Are they technically zombie?
call
Because
it.
I don't know if that's necessarily
What classifies
zombie.
as a zombie then?
That's the good question because necromorphs, like you're not talking about zombies because they're not eating people.
I mean, it is
And-
space, so maybe aliens, but
That's not
yeah,
those.
Still the dead
Action,
walking
though.
again to
It's
kill
the
them.
it's the dead walking, but they're not even humanoid anymore. Like that's like they're being
is
genetically
Dead Space.
completely rewritten. I don't know if that's
Is a vampire
that's
a
more of
zombie?
a that's
well,
that's
you could say the same thing with zombies, right?
that's more of a monster thing. No, zombies can still technically be like they still more or less maintain their human form.
I
Like,
don't think
even-
vampires are like zombies though.
I don't think vampires are like zombies either.
That's like a different mythos.
Yeah,
And
that's
plus
a completely
vampires are,
different
like,
mythos. Look, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you think that vampires don't classify as zombies, then I'm going to sit here and say that necromorphs are not zombies either. Because
fair
necromorphs,
with
dude,
that. I'm
dude,
fair with
you're literally giving necromorphs extra limbs sometimes. It's
I
like,
don't know.
bro.
Necromorphs kind of remind me of like the
So,
thing,
I
so
mean-
it looks to me more
Yeah,
like
yeah.
alien. Or
Yeah, that's an
Like, for
alien
me-
thing. And that whole thing is
class
happening.
zombie.
Here's the thing. That whole thing is happening because of the marker. That has nothing to do with zombieism.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would say this about Dead Space with the whole thing about zombies.
The
it is
Resident
Space.
Evil has stealth portions, but Resident Evil doesn't have stealth portions that had to do with the zombies.
That's
like
true.
they had stealth portions that had to do with everything else. And also, the other thing that I'm gonna go ahead and point out and roll my eyes a little bit about, Resident Evil is a biohazard thing. I'm gonna go with the actual Japanese on this. It was a biochemical weapon, not actually a zombie infection. I mean,
Yeah,
it
'cause that
was a
was like a
zombie
virus,
infection.
right?
Yeah, they were
bioengineered.
literally they were trying to bioengineer a super soldier weapon thing. Yeah, that's literally they were trying to create. They created Tyrant and Nemesis, and
Saturation.
the T virus and the G virus just happen to be a byproduct of that.
Yep.
be like nature going wrong though. Still.
God damn, nature went wrong. Did you see that giant fucking snake in RE1? Bruh.
But that's kind of what it is with Last of Us though, because the cordyceps that affect the humans is just a mutated version of an actual thing.
Yes, but they didn't bioengineer that. That happened naturally. No, that wasn't bioengineered. That was a natural evolution after humanity had messed up the earth so that it got warmer. In order to adapt to the warming climate.
Well, zombieism itself could be both a natural thing or bioengineered.
It depends on the series.
It's
I think.
Zombieism is natural evolution, but I mean, we can have this conversation all day long. Back to slime.
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
Yeah, we could go. I was just about to say,
dude, what we should do, dude. If you weren't working on Friday, I'd be like, dude, we could have a Friday night conversation on the off nights when we're not doing Fan Friday. We could just have a complete breakdown of this. We
Go
just
back and forth on shit.
go back and forth. Like we have the
zombie
nerd
debate.
Friday. We could have the nerd debate Fridays, man.
The zombie debate.
Fan Freak Out Friday.
Fan
Master
freak out.
debate.
I just imagine we're like on a news forecast thing. We have a guest star. It's like, can I finish? Can I finish? Sir, can I finish?
No, it's impossible. You can't. Anyway.
Can you not interrupt me? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Speaking.
No, turn her down for me. Are you sure, Surimaru? If we do, she may decide to stage a more serious challenge in the dungeon, wouldn't she? It's fine. Just remind her that people will learn she lost against the Labyrinth Master, and that the word will spread like wildfire. Quah! It is impossible for me to lose. Nice. I knew he'd pitch in at a time like this. Plus, if she really did stage another attempt, we could leverage that in our advertising. What? Well, all right.
Or better yet, because somebody's opinion is inevitably going to offend somebody else, because that's just the natural way conversations happen, we could just call it "How dare you?"
The zombie edition.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we just have different
how dare
editions.
you.
Just how dare you, and like whatever
that's the
the
name of the
topic
show.
is, the show is just called "How dare you," and then yeah, I'm all for it. I'm here for it.
Welcome back
And, like,
to our show.
every-
How dare you? We have
Dude,
a great
I'm
episode
down to
this
do
week.
this.
Every discussion
week.
starts with that too. It's
I'm
like,
down to do this.
How dare you suggest?
How dare you suggest?
Or how dare you declare?
The chat recommends the topic. I'm down to do this if we had Tuesday nights, man. I'd do this on my channel. We'd do this as a podcast, man.
Oh, yeah.
I have Tuesday nights.
I think your camera.
But I don't know if the others do.
No.
Oh, there we go. Fix that.
But I would do it.
Discord's looking weird, but I think on the chat it's looking fine.
Yeah, and your voice sounds okay. I think it's just your camera, so I don't know what's
I think it's just your camera, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway.
But I would absolutely do a show called How Dare You.
Richie looks fine by me.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it looks fine on stream, so whatever.
Yeah, he's okay. Anyway.
Oh, guys,
Well-
turn into a clicker.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Well. All right.
Okay. Sorry.
But
Onward.
Yes.
yeah, okay. Well, all right. But if possible, I'd like you to break the news to her, Surimaru. What? No way. No. I don't want her. I didn't want her hating me. It'd suck if she thought I was being a tightwad. Better leave this role to someone like Molly Mile with the firm, resolved attitude I needed. But if I may, riling Lady Hinata's anger honestly scares me a little. Thanks a bunch, Molly. I think he was about to say something, but I cut him off. What a butthole.
Nope.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, just sorry. I'm just not into doing that stuff. A pretty girl like her, I'd like us to
She's
stay
scary.
friends. Besides, Molly Mile's got a mafioso face and isn't afraid of anyone. He thinks of everything in terms of profit and loss, so I'm sure he'd have no problem saying no. I'm also sure that I just imagined it when I thought I heard him sadly mutter, perhaps I'll use my pocket money then, under his breath. That wrapped up our agenda, leaving the now grieving Molly Mile to himself. I went on with my business.
God damn it, Rimuru.
What a butthole. He didn't just throw him under the bus.
Rimuru is literally the definition of sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. What a
He
butthole.
drove the bus into him.
Yeah.
At this point, that rug is under a mountainous pile of dust. Or on top of a mountainous pile of dust.
Yes.
All right, Moon Moon.
And the mountain
turn.
has his tits.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Yay.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did you leave off? Okay.
At the Star?
I told Veldora Ramirez, yeah, our meeting time tomorrow.
At the Star?
I don't have a star.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh wait. I think okay. I see it. Okay, yeah.
it's right here.
Fucking load.
If it'll show down.
Okay. I told Veldora and Ramirez our meeting time tomorrow. There was some prep I'd need to wrap up before then, but before that, I had one errand to attend to. Shion was on standby outside my chamber, so I took her along with me to visit Shuna.
She's washing
Shuna was
clothes.
overseeing dinner preparations when we saw her. Do what?
One errand he had to attend to, and there's Shuna, and I was like, washing clothes.
Giving out, Shuna was overseeing dinner preparations when we saw her, giving out instructions to her staff. There were more people in the kitchen now, the air alive with conversation between an assortment of species. The skill Shuna demonstrated by organizing them all showed her strength as a leader. I hated to interrupt her for my personal business, but we were battling against time here, so she'd have to forgive me. Hey Shuna, got a moment? Oh, Sir Rimuru, by all means. Tell me what you need. Shuna ran up to me when I called out to her. In this noisy kitchen, everyone was always kind enough to let me sample their dishes when I stopped by now and then. I tried to offer a quick comment for everything I tasted, but I was in a rush, so our impromptu tasting had to wait. Sorry guys, I need Shuna's help with something today. I'll be able to take my time in here next time, okay? Certainly. Stop by whenever. Wait till you see what we've been working on now. The enthusiasm was palpable. I guess me complimenting someone on their food was a kind of status symbol around here. Next time ought to be real fun. Okay, Gabichi, can you run things for a while? Yes, Lady Shuna, ready and able. Gobichi was second only to Shuna in cookery by now. He was the head chef whenever Shuna was gone, so we were in good hands. Right. See you later, I said, waving at the disappointed kitchen staff. We were on our way to floor 60, Adelman's lair. Oh, thanks for that sandwich, by the way. It was good. Shuna smiled as we walked along. I'm so glad you liked it. Allow me to take a box lunch for you, allow me to make a box lunch for you next time, Sir Rimuru. Shion was quick to volunteer.
No thanks, we'd like to survive.
Before replying, right?
Yeah.
Well, no. At this point, she has guarantee results, so it at least tastes good.
Oh yeah. It just looked weird.
Yeah. You're certainly improving by leaps and bounds. Could you maybe work with Shuna on one sometime? I thought I was safe trusting Shion by this point, but a little insurance never hurt. Shuna's presence should keep Shion from going crazy in the kitchen. Perhaps tomorrow then, Lady Shuna? All right.
She needs to learn how to get in the kitchen and make a sandwich.
Right? It was a pleasant exchange. Their musical performance had been in perfect sync, too, actually. I'm glad they were getting along. So we chatted along those lines as we reached the 60th floor. Adeline, I'm coming in. It's you, Sir Rimuru. Truly, recent events have filled me with anguish. I am fully prepared to accept any punishment you deem fit for my inferior self. He immediately fell to his knees when I said his name.
Joke's on you! I'm into that shit!
As always. But I was used to it by now. Nah, as far as that goes, it's our fault for misleading this. You're not a good fit for combat against paladins. I don't think you could have avoided that defeat. No, even now I lament just how spiritless I was in battle, losing to such inexperienced fighters. I approached the battle as if I was still a white king, but I lost after my magic failed to trigger.
Silence you, boob!
Hold on, who is Sans brother from Undertale? That's what it reminds me of.
No, that's Skeletor from He-Man. 100% Skeletor.
It's a little bit of both. Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Silence you, boob!
I always read him in that kind of a voice.
Yeah.
But that's 100% Skeletor from He-Man.
Yeah.
Old school He-Man.
Character.
Yeah.
A white with some pretty advanced magic knowledge.
Exactly, see? Ryuma, why is he 80 Skeletor? See?
Oh.
I like it.
Okay.
I don't know. It fits.
I was kind of going for Skeletor, but I just got to a point where I was like, just do whatever.
No, that's
But
Skeletor.
she's
That's
fine.
100% Skeletor, bro.
Okay, glad I could do that much.
Adelman is now Skeletor. That forever, apparently. Yeah.
Yes. There wasn't much magic he could fully harness, and the only creatures he could summon were equally low-level undead.
Callie from the
Monsters
Valley.
had the capacity to evolve via the magicules in the labyrinth, but that took time. Adelman's minions wouldn't be evolving for a while to come. But what I was
Callie
about
from the
to do
Valley
helped
was
power up
redeemed.
much more quickly. Which, all right. One of the most important things you can do now, you can do is know the extent of your powers. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Yes, anything. How much holy magic can you wield at the moment? Holy magic was, in essence, force stemming from faith. You didn't need to gather up magicules from the atmosphere, and it wasn't affected by the magic strength within you. Oh, God. If you had the right knowledge and enough spellcasting time, you could weave powerful magic, or whatever, without exerting a great deal of energy. It was beautiful.
I'm working on my weave.
I got everyone doing the hands.
I'm working on my weave.
What
Instead of my
it did
wave.
require, though,
Hey, my
was a
phone.
pact
My
forged with a
Instagram.
god. A god, for the purposes of this kind of magic, was an existence who could wield the spiritual particles that were the building blocks for magicules. It wasn't dependent on the caster believing in this, or that god, or some other divine concept in this world. A god was just anyone who could directly interact with spiritual particles. In Luminism, for example,
Good.
Luminous was a god for this reason.
What was that?
Don't worry about it.
was
Don't ask
You have
questions.
to-
No, I have to ask questions. No, I have to ask
no, no.
questions now. No.
No.
We need to ask questions. What the fuck was that?
It was
That was
amazing.
him ending
Wow.
his
What
paragraph.
the fuck was
No.
that?
It
Power.
was just,
That's
a
what it was.
little bit improv.
Power? What the fuck?
Him asserting
Unlimited power.
God damn it.
Unlimited.
Like, oh my god! Execute Order 66!
Everything is normal
God.
except for that.
I'm sorry, Vader, but you killed your wife.
Yeah.
You with your rage.
It
Yeah.
seems in your anger, you have killed her! Like, oh my
Oh
god!
my god! Like, can you believe that? And then Darth Vader just. No!
Slay Queen!
I know this may be awkward, Vader, but
Slay Queen!
you know what?
Oh my god,
That-
I can't.
That
yeah.
dude is so
I can't.
Oh,
for you
God.
right now. You look amazing, Fred.
That's such a good
Calvin-
mental image.
Calvin's
Glad I bring
just
this
trying
up.
to cheer him up.
Slay! Bells ring.
Yeah.
Are you listening?
The slang
No,
in
see,
that
that's
Oh
what
my
Chewbacca
God.
does. He doesn't do his roar. He just goes, yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah!
You said it, Chewie.
You said it, Chewie.
Okay, so,
Oh dear.
so we have Callie and Chewie from the hood.
I'm grabbing that. I am grabbing that. We are getting that done. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah!
Here's the funniest thing. Here's the
my
funniest thing.
God.
I literally just got somebody to. I just had somebody ask me, "Did I pass my stone?" And I really just want to reply, "Yeah." Like, God damn it!
Apparently
Look what you have
Stones
done.
are 2K.
Look what you have done. Look what you fuckers have done.
Okay, hang on.
That was
Oh,
really
hold on, hold on.
funny.
Like, in your anger, you
Oh,
like
you bitch.
totally slayed your pregnant wife, Slay Queen. But in your defense, she was like being a major bitch.
I was gonna read.
Was
this,
she
Calvin.
though? Was she?
All right. Like this is what happened. In your anger, you totally slayed your pregnant wife, Slay Queen.
Jesus.
But in your defense, she was like being a major bitch, so it was somewhat justified.
Fuzzy Wuzzy
Hey,
was a
I
bear.
know
Fuzzy Wuzzy
I
had
know
no
this
hair.
is kind of maybe a bad time, Vader, but you look
Like,
really killer
Fuzzy
in you're
Wuzzy
slaying
wasn't
it in that
fuzzy,
suit
was
right now.
Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Like, oh my god,
Like,
he
no,
wasn't
he was
very
not.
fuzzy, was he?
Okay, fuck. I gotta fucking read. Oh. In Luminism, for example, Luminous was the god for this reason. Adelman was a devout Luminist, and becoming a monster hadn't shaken his faith at all. That's why he could cast Disintegration as a White King, I suppose. Now, however,
Racist
he was
bitch.
worshipping me as a god instead of Luminous, and we couldn't forge a pact of faith with each other. I figured holy magic was thus out of the question, maybe. These days... Wait, hold on.
These
These
days.
days, not very much. I am afraid even lower-ranked magic is inaccessible to me. I thought so.
Bro, he's
Holy
straight up
magic in essence worked the
Call
same
him a
way
white
as spirit magic.
king.
That's racist. A
Racist.
pact was involved, and you were borrowing force from a higher power to cast your spells. Not even
Racist.
Hinata could cast holy magic without borrowing luminous power. If the human race didn't align itself with a god like Luminous, they'd lose access to one of the most effective ways to handle monsters. It'd be ironic if it weren't so scary to think about. If Luminous's whims had driven her to go in a different direction, the world might have wound up far more chaotic than it already was. Alright, so let me ask you, Shuna. How much holy magic can you use? And what's your faith pointed at? In my case, it's not exactly holy magic. It's an imitation powered by my unique skill parser. And it works surprisingly well. I see. An imitation. I did leave her to analyze the barrier over our town. Come to think of it, maybe that let her copy a subset of holy magic as a side effect. And in addition to that, my faith is in you, Sir Rimuru, and there's no doubting the power that brings me. That's why I think I might be able to do this. Shuna gave me a somewhat bashful smile. Huh? But when you fought me, didn't you say that even monsters could use holy magic? I was bluffing, Shuna replied, still smiling. It was a bluff, I was quite sure of. But you wound up proving it for me, Sir Rimuru. Oh, wait. No, yeah, that's her. Adelman gave us a quizzical look. It was surprising how much variety there was to his facial expressions, being a skeleton and all. But regardless, the most important element to executing holy magic was faith. Faith was intertwined with connections in the soul, and it might be that Shuna inadvertently grasped this at the deepest level. If that was the case, I just needed to present my theory and have Adelman learn it. He should know how it feels, so I didn't think it'd be that hard. Now, I'd like both of you to accept for me what I'll call the secret skills of faith and favor. I just learned them from Luminous not long ago, and it's strictly classified information, so keep that in mind. As a former high priest, I figured Adelman could rediscover holy magic once he could connect with me. Even now, when his magicule count was nothing like it used to be, holy magic ought to make him a lot more useful in a fight. The secret skills of faith and favor? Now I too... Oh, wait, no. I got it backwards. Whatever. Now I too shall bask in the powers of the truly divine! He was even more stifling than usual today, but I put up with it. Sir Rimuru, do you mind if I ask a question? I hadn't thought about it until now, but for the first time in a while, I was being carried by Shion. In slime form, of course. I didn't want that to stop. It was comfortable after all. This holy magic talk would fly straight over her head, I was sure, but I had to be confident so she could keep it secret. Don't tell anyone, all right? I said to her. Of course, came the energetic reply. I was happy enough with that, so I went over the basics of my plan with Shuna.
Congratulations on graduating from a Dave.
So I can learn holy
Though that
magic
is
as well
basically
if I
just getting
can
participation
believe in
trophy.
you. Right. I think so. It's something you can research if you're in your free time anyway. Maybe talk about it with Adelman and stuff. All right. I look forward to seeing how much of it I can learn. Shuna was picking this up fast. With her parser skill, maybe learning disintegration wasn't a pipe dream even. As for Adelman, I am sweating, overflowing with power! He was pretty excited. Holy cannon! With a red light sparking up from deep within his eye sockets, Adelman pointed a hand forward and screamed. A concentrated ball of energy flew out from his palm, a bolt of holy cannon, a full-fledged holy spell. A powerful one, too, and one he had generated all by himself. Sir Rimaru, my God! He prostrated himself before me in worship. I wish he wouldn't. It kind of made my spine prickle. You're a slime!
Joke's on you.
Hey,
I'm into that shit.
Great. It worked, huh? Now keep practicing so you can start casting some higher level magic. And if something comes up, you can always turn to Shuna for advice. I was clearly trying to hurry things along. Shuna, understanding my intentions, lightly nodded. Ah, so you want me to be his advisor since you dislike dealing with him yourself? I heard that question loud and clear, but pretending I didn't was probably the best move here. If she could just assume I'm an insensitive clod who doesn't understand anything for myself, that'd be great.
Adelman. Holy cats!
Yeah.
Fuck
Holy
it.
cats.
I promise I will live up to your lofty expectations, Sir Rimaru!
I don't know about an orgasm, but he
wow.
can certainly have a boner.
Yeah. About to say,
Joke's on you!
I'm
very
into
humorous
that
joke.
shit!
I'm into that shit!
Yep.
Adelman, meanwhile, was energized like never before. I decided now was a good time to give him another
damn it.
important piece of advice. Now, as a wight, if you cast a holy spell, doesn't that damage you? There were two types of holy magic. One neutral type that worked with spiritual particles, and another of the holy type that canceled out magicules. Holy cannon was the latter type, and as a monster, I figured that would cause him damage. Ha 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 ha! A little pain is nothing that would faze me! Ah, Adelman's just soldiering through it. But that doesn't really solve the problem. I could tap Beretta's, Reverser unique skill to flip the holy attribute around to demonic. But that's another future research topic. For the time being, then how about this, Adelman? Still enveloped in Shion's chest, I sent a beam of light into the air. Oh! I removed the holy attribute and powered it up a bit. It's called Holy Ray, and it's my own creation. Holy Ray is a neutral attack, neither holy nor demonic in nature. As long as you didn't screw it up, it would never damage the caster. However, it was a trickier spell to cast. In other words, it required the user to have more faith in me. It was meant for a single target, and in terms of spontaneous force, it was better than my Megiddo spell. Wow! Really?
Mm-hmm.
It launched quickly and emitted bright light.
Keep in mind,
But it was actually
Megiddo was before Demon Lord.
Yeah,
I know!
so-
He's broken.
Yep.
Spitting spiritual particles.
Oh my god, Adelman, silence! I kill you!
Yeah.
God damn it.
Jesus, I haven't heard that in a while.
Silence! I kill you!
God damn it. Okay, to all the non-whites in the room, I'm sorry for his blatant racism.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I
Piercing attack, it was powerful disintegration.
apologize for all the
Took much less time
non-whites.
to cast. Wonderful. Truly a wonderful spell.
Somebody
Adelman
just came in
beside
here.
himself
Somebody
with
just
joy.
came in here and said, "Why is this white person apologizing on behalf of white people?" I'm like, technically, I'm not. But
Big difference between WHITE
and
and WIGHT.
yeah, WIGHT, WYGHT, because one's a ghost,
Silly.
one's a ghost, and the other is a really pale person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, if he can master this spell, it might help him get used to manipulating spiritual particles in general. Then he'd be able to launch bigger beams with tons more lethality. This was one of the spells Raphael developed based on my requests and for Adelman at the moment. This was the most ideal weapon I could give him. I'll be glad to discuss magic with you at any time, so don't be afraid to contact me. Oh, that was Shuna. Whatever. Shuna had already kindly accepted my request. That was to say the least, a relief. Oh. All right, keep up your training then, and try your best to learn holy magic that won't damage you. I wanted that to be a focus. It would complicate fighting otherwise. Raising a hand to quiet down the jubilant Adelman, I then tackled our next problem. So, right now you don't have too many ways to attack. We can help you gradually build up an arsenal, but before that, there's something quick we can do. How do you mean? Well, you're more of a back row fighter by nature, right? I would say my role more often was to provide rear support, yes. When I was a White King, I'd often use summoning magic to bring forth an army of undead, overwhelming foes with my sheer numbers. I'm sure he did. There was no rule that said a floor guardian had to fight solo, so all we had to do was bring on someone to take up the front row for him. Right? Right. So I think it was a mistake for me to pitch you against parties of people. Yes, I do have a variety of martial arts at my disposal, but with this body of bones, it's all rather incompatible. No, that's not the issue. He must have mistakenly thought I was scolding him. Punches and kicks weren't going to solve anything. Nah, don't worry about that. If you're fighting a single person, then fine. But if it's more than one, call for some friends of your own. You had one, didn't you? I think his name was... Ah, you mean my friend Alberto! Yeah, right, Alberto. I guess he's a skeleton right now, but he used to be an Imperial Acolyte, didn't he? Good enough with his sword to trouble Hakuro, even. That's the kind of strength you need. And if he's got the right equipment, he can still cut it in a fight today, right? Yes, with his talents, I am sure he can live up to your expectations, Sir Rimuru.
I just realized I was muted that whole time.
Nice.
Oh.
I made so much commentary and everything. I even read the whole thing. Yeah, we gotta go back to that whole thing of like reading like it's so like in your anger you killed. I read that and no one reacted.
I didn't even know. Well, that explains it.
That would do it. Anyways, I could sense the pride in Edelman's voice.
Well,
Now I was
anyways.
getting more confident about the idea I had. Oh no. Anyways.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's gonna be a wonderful time when we have to do all these exercises.
Yeah, I know.
Wonderful.
Okay, can you give him this equipment for me later? I produced a set of gear from my stomach and laid it out on the floor. Previously, I had heard Alberto was capable of fighting without a shield, so I figured this was the best set for him. Cursed Sword! A one-handed, medium-length sword that absorbs life force from its surroundings, including the wielder, making it a failure as a weapon. Cursed Mail produces a constantly deployed barrier with high magical resistance and defense, but also continually saps the wearer's life force. These two items were collaborations between Kurobe and Garm, both trying to extract as many features from them as possible. They were planning to create a whole series, but they shelved it once they realized no living being could use them. Garm, in particular, actually collapsed while crafting them. Things were touch and go for a little while. We could laugh about that now, but given the backstory, we were all a bit loath to just throw these things away. Besides, they both worked really great. Unique caliber gear, you could even call them, but since monsters count as living creatures too, we figured they were completely unusable. And now, as I realize that's no issue at all with the undead. What do you think? You don't feel sick or anything holding them, do you? I feel nothing in particular. We are already dead, after all. Adelman checked them himself to be sure.
Oh,
The moment he unsheathed the sword, Shuna and Shion began to wince.
I mean, joke's
That
on
life
you.
absorbed
He's
feature.
into that shit.
Yeah.
That life absorb feature must have been working, given how Adelman wasn't phased at all. Undead must have been impervious to it. Great. I think you'll be okay then. Back in its sheath, the sword no longer sapped energy, but that alone could make it pretty decent for attacking. Oh, and there's this too. It was a surecoat, an outer garment made of my sticky steel thread, a superior piece, resistant to heat and cold, and also resilient against bladed weapons. These were circulating around as part of the Tempest-made goods we had available, but we charged an arm and a leg for them. Very well. I will be sure Alberto receives these. He will be overjoyed, I promise you. Great. With Alberto fighting for him, Adelman would have a lot more options in battle now. Oops, just remembered. And Adelman, I want you to have this. I took out a jet black robe, like something a priest from some dark, sinister cult would wear. It looked kind of cool, actually. Not to mention, gaudily decorated. It was, in fact, one of the most impressive pieces of the whole Tempest clothing collection. Something worth at least 100 gold coins, or the equivalent of a luxury sports car. Even royalty or nobility couldn't shell out for this without due consideration. Truly top of the line. And it performed well, too, amazingly. Even if it got ripped, it used self-regeneration to fix itself up. That made it a magic item, one with features you almost never saw. Oh! Adelman respectfully took it from me. I'd like you to put that on and greet any challengers you see like you're still a White King. I think that'll help create more of a floor guardian atmosphere with you, you know? This was more of a matter of taste than anything. My taste, but still. I had also asked Ramirez to help me renovate this floor. We envisioned something like a throne room with Adelman leading an army of undead like the king he was. I will gladly do that, Sir Rimuru. It happens to be one of my talents. Or was that... I don't care anymore. Nice. It seemed like I could rely on him. Okay, that was Adelman.
Yeah, there's no way that Ramirez would call him Sir Rimuru. Yeah.
Either way.
He just phones it. I'm like, I gotta stop.
Okay.
Stop making your bosses broken. How fucking dare you? This is the floor 60 boss. Make him broken. Make him broken.
Make him absolutely broken.
Buff him.
Yeah.
Also, you don't know what kind of a giant emergency bunker the dungeon could end up becoming later on. Or what forces they may have to trap in here. So floor bosses could become like their own unique generals. Make these motherfuckers broken. These are wartime attributes. Make them broken. Yeah.
I was spending time drawing what he looked like in my mind.
God damn it.
He's just very jovial.
Joke's on you! Joke's on you! I'm into that shit! Alright, anyway.
Also, if you have any other talented knights you'd like to have serving you in here, knock yourself out. Understood, my lord! If I could check with you on one thing. What is it? Well, I would like to bring one of my pets here with me. But could I ask for your permission? A pet? Didn't seem like an issue.
Not a sexual.
Sure, if that's all it is. You can use whatever pets you want in battle, actually. Just try not to have them outnumber the parties attacking you. Is it gonna be that giant undead dragon?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, let's go. Yes, my lord. I have been granted this land by my god, and I promise you that I, Adelman, will protect it with all the ability I can muster.
Also known as Skeletor!
Overreacting again. I let it slide.
Silence you,
Wasn't worth
boob!
commenting on.
Oh, God damn it.
Okay, we're gonna be renovating this space to look like a throne room tonight, so feel free to choose whoever you want to serve you. If you have any questions, ask Shuna or Ramirez. Yes, my lord! May the words of Sir Rimuru propel you forward. Shion had to butt in there. I really wish she didn't, but she seemed happy with herself, so I didn't pursue it.
Pursue.
Rimuru,
but you're cleaning up. But you're cleaning up after your pet. Like, God damn it! All right.
The next day.
No, the next day. All right, I take over here.
The next day, this happened.
Yes, it did.
And now.
Now, chickens.
What?
You heard. And.
Oh, that's the robot chicken thing.
No, I was actually reading for syllable for syllable in bucks. So.
Oh. Sorry, I thought you were robot chicken. Yeah, that's what I thought you were doing.
That would be.
Mr. Chicken, what kind of currency do you use?
Jesus.
Are we being rated? Yes! Revan! Revan is Revan, party of one! Party of one! Seat yourself this way! Donner, party of 50!
I will take you to your table, Revan!
He's a waiter now.
Joke's on you! I'm into that shit! Sorry, anyway.
I love it.
Get you, Revan!
The next day, we all came together at the appointed hour. Oh, God, no, this is someone else. Okay.
Yeah, I told you.
Adelman's floor is just perfect now. The moment she caught sight of me, Ramirez started bragging. As she reported, she completed the throne room the previous evening.
Why is holy cat's a thing?
Because it's a thing in the like. Okay, look. If you want to know why holy cats is a thing, ask Volume 1. That's why it's a thing. That's why it's a thing. Literally in Volume 1 of the light novels, Rimuru goes holy cats, and we had a 5-minute exposition on holy cats. And why that should even be a thing? Like, it's in the actual light novel breakdowns.
Why it's a thing for?
I don't know. That's why. That's what we were trying to figure out. We don't know why, but it became part of like the fat dog cultural zeitgeist. So yeah.
So when someone I'm just gonna assume that whenever
it's a thing because it's a thing.
I was gonna say like whenever someone redeems it, we just have to scream "Holy cats!"
Holy cats!
Is cat.
Holy cat!
All right, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Holy cats! Batman! All right, so anyway, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Holy rusted metal!
What?
These rocks, they're metal and holy and rusted. So I'm glad you got that.
Yeah. I've seen that movie. Yes. Oh man.
The Holy Cat Emperor.
I'm trying to figure out why there were 2 Holy Cat requests, but I think we've taken care of that at this point.
The first one was when I was reading, and then the second one was when
just now
he was asking about it.
Technically, Holy Cats is asking people to spam the Holy Cats emote. Is what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah. So, guys, yeah, there's an emote of Grumpy Cat, Pope Grumpy Cat. That's what's supposed to be happening. You're supposed to spam. You're supposed to spam the fat dog emote of Grumpy Cat. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Wait a fucking second.
Hold up. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Wait a minute.
Gotta hold on, sweet talking woman. You got me running. You got
I did not mean
searching.
to. Okay, God bless. Okay,
Sorry.
Okay, there we go.
Just make me a mod.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sweet.
I also made Sonic a mod. Post something. Shim post Sonic. Shem post something only visible to moderators. Okay. Sonic cleared the chat. Why did you clear the chat?
Did I?
Yeah, you cleared the chat and you enabled 1 month followers only mode for this room.
Oops.
Enabled 30-second slow mo. Why are you touching random stuff? Okay, you're already a moderator.
I did not touch any of that.
Okay, Moonlight Sparks disabled slow mode. It says you did.
One button. That was it.
And that was the one button that. And
I was trying to go into mod
memes
view.
in general, guys.
I was trying to hit mod view. I hit one other button.
You can put not safe for work in general, though. That's fine.
No, don't do that.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Don't listen to him. Do not listen to him.
Shut down the cat.
Yeah.
Back to the fucking book. What was I doing? What was I saying?
It was just a boner. Sorry.
All right. Thanks much. The rest I think we can leave up to Adelman. Are you sure? Well, he'll perform better than he did yesterday anyway. If he's fighting an A ranker, he's going to have trouble, but he'll at least be able to expose his opponent's skills for us. Oh, Rimuru, there you go, underestimating the hell out of your people. The longer Adelman held out, the more serious his foes would get. That's where Raphael would step in, analyzing the battle and figuring out how we should best respond. Valuable info would come we could leverage in the next floor. Despite everything I said to Adelman, it really wasn't any big deal if he lost. Besides, depending on the decisions we made right now, both he and, for that matter, Bovix, may be idle for a long time to come. We needed to address every facet of this. So, time to start implementing. What are you doing? I heard all about it. My dragons got pummeled? Now that's the last person I wanted to see. Milim storming into the conference room and looking absolutely livid. In her hand was Gobta, looking like a dirty old rag. He was being dragged along, but it looked like he was still breathing. I could hear him muttering,
Seems like normal everyday stuff.
I did it. I sure did. I finished it all. Over and over to himself, too, so I guess he was conscious. Milim's training must have really done a number on him. But he didn't look any stronger to me. Just kind of, okay, a lot more beat up. But was he all right? Milim nodded at me, oblivious to my concern. Ah, yes! Yes, Gupta performed brilliantly! I didn't think he'd ever beat Hell Mode. She did look pretty satisfied, and judging by the praise from Milim, Gupta must have performed a truly monumental feat. In that case, it's time to teach him my Veldora style death stance! No, it's not! Gupta is my disciple! Veldora and Milim promptly began arguing. I completely spent Gobta to the side of them. I really didn't want to get involved with that, so I'll leave that choice up to Gobta. Glad he's home safe, at least. I was going to reward him later. Once I had his attention, I ordered Gobta to get some rest. He promptly headed to a nearby nap room. Did I mention Ranga? My master! I have returned! He was wobbly as he padded toward me, voice hoarse. Gobta looked bad, and Ranga was about the same. Pretty intense training, I guess. I reflexively gave him a pat on the head. He squinted appreciatively. Good job. You can rest in my shadow now. He jumped right in the moment I said it. By the way, once he had recovered enough, I asked Gobta what they were up to. It turned out that his training was nothing but on-the-field battle, back-to-back fighting against monsters either at his level or slightly above it. Once he and Ranga were in perfect sync with each other, they moved on to never-ending string of battles against people like Carrion and Midray. There's the next...
Oh, God.
Do you guys see the image? It's Family Feud!
Oh.
What the fuck?
Oh, I'm sorry, Gopta.
30 seconds as a moderator, and
Oh.
Sonic pulled a Dave on the GC.
Yeah, he did.
Jesus, oh man, yep, he did.
Feud.
As Milim apparently put it to
the
him,
wrong button, but I was going for mod view.
yep. No matter how hard you try, you're never gonna house more Magicules within your body. But don't worry, if you can unify with Ranga, that immediately solves the problem. And once you learn how to master the increase in power, you'll be fine. So leave the Magicule surge to Ranga and just try to polish up your senses. So it was nothing but battle sense training since then, he concluded with a smile. He had also learned the extra skill Sage, which let him speed up his thoughts. I was pretty impressed. Having Milim back was a boon, actually. After leaving Adelman, I had been making the necessary preparations all night, just barely wrapping everything up in time. Promptly, I took out the items I had completed. Veldora, Ramirez, and Milim each gave it curious stares as I held it in my hand. Pay attention, everyone. I have a special item here. Something I've been developing for a little while. Personally, I think it's groundbreaking. It'll help us solve the problems we're facing in the labyrinth, and it'll also add some more fun to all our lives. I gave all three one of their own. I didn't expect Milim in today, but I was planning to invite her over once I had something practical to share, so hers was all set to go. The idea for this came from the homunculus Archduke Errol used earlier. I figured that having access to temporary bodies would let you do some pretty neat stuff. What's this? Never seen this before. Do I eat it? To me, it looks like a vessel for the soul, or the like. Milim, Ramirez, and Veldora seemed equally curious. No, Ramirez, it wasn't food. Did she think everything I brought over for her was food? Oh well. Veldora was fairly close to the right answer. These items were quasi-compartments for souls, while transferring your consciousness to a homunculus. A corridor is established between it and your soul using some magic. I had analyzed and assessed the core components of that magic, revising them for my own needs. This was what I gave to Trainee, a vessel for her chaos core. I called it a pseudo-soul. Veldora's almost got it. This device imitates a soul vessel. I can't provide a soul itself, so instead, I tried to create a substitute that mimics one. Oh, why did you do that? Veldora, maybe pleased he got it right, tried to sound as intelligent as possible. There was no need for me to put on airs. I could go ahead and just state my aims, but before that, I wanted to surprise them a little. After all, the effort I spent on this, I thought I deserved a bit of fun. Hey, not so fast, not so fast. I'll explain everything to you, okay? But next up, I've also got this. Take it and try to imagine a monster in your mind. Anyone is fine. I then took out a set of black balls, each about the size of a fist, and handed them to my audience. Veldora gave it an odd look. Any type? Yeah, either an existing one or whatever crazy thing comes to your mind for you. So a goblin or an orc or a horned hare or an ogre bear or anything? Sure, but make sure it's something you like. I don't want you to complain about your choice afterward. All right, a monster then. Do these create monsters who repel labyrinth challengers with? Something like that. Oh, all right, a monster then. Do these create monsters who you'll repair labyrinth challengers with? He was always super sharp with things like this. Satisfied enough with my guidance, the three of them picked up their black orbs and sank into contemplation. These items were called Master Cores, and the magical core of Charybdis came in handy when developing them. I had that kept in isolation within my stomach, but Raphael had finally finished analyzing it. It was the core of a large monster as well as the root of its power. Apparently, in the transformation into Demon Lord, I had consumed all the negative energy inside, so it was now an empty shell. That made it perfect for housing a soul vessel, and now, here we are. Or rather, here we were. After a few moments, the magicules in the air began to interact with the master cores, creating monsters, the exact ones each bearer imagined. Well, pretty neat, huh? And like Veldora said, we can use these monsters to engage parties in the labyrinth. That's what I gathered all of you here for. That wasn't the only reason, but nobody was listening anyway. They were all marveling at the monsters they created. Meanwhile, I was busy making my own monster, a ghost, a transparent, disembodied soul floating in the air. I'll omit the stats, but one special skill it had was cancel physical attack. As a ghost, no physical attack worked on it. It couldn't attack physically either, of course. Magic was its only offense. Next up was Veldora. There was now a skeleton standing next to him. It couldn't cast magic, although it could learn how later on. With the right evolution, it could also master battle will. God damn it. Can you fuck it? Dear God, no! Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. I look up at chat and I am immediately disappointed. Yeah, you never failed to disappoint me. Yep.
He said funk it.
Funk it.
Censored it. Yeah.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he did not.
No, he ain't.
No, he didn't. There are not enough symbols for that word. Nope. Alright, anyway. Milla, meanwhile, had generated a bouncy, lustrous blob. It had no limbs, its color a garish red that demanded your attention. It was a slime. Why do you make a slime? Are you picking on me? No. You asked me to go with something I liked. What's the issue? She likes you. She likes you. Now she was firing back at me. Ah, well, she was clearly happy at least. Her eyes all but shouting, "Slime!" out loud. I was wondering about the Dayglow Red, however. Finally, we had Ramirez. What was this, a knight? Or a suit of armor? Yes, it was a suit of living armor, to be exact. Full plate, but looking worn out for some reason. It was still the largest out of the 4 monsters we made. Maybe Ramirez's hang-ups about her size drove her to imagine something big. The fact that it was completely empty inside was pretty appropriate for her. Everyone peered closely at the monsters they just willed to life, but the surprises were only beginning. All right, Veldora, so listen. Oh, alright, so listen. As Veldora pointed out, I'm thinking about using the monsters we created to dispatch the intruders inside our labyrinth. Intruders? Yes, these monsters are the guardians of the labyrinth, so anyone stepping inside has to be intruders, right? Ah, I see. Huh? What? Indeed. Remember, Ramirez, we are running this labyrinth. Calling them challengers is rather strange, if you think about it. Yes. Now that you mention it, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Veldora stepping in to explain matters was convincing enough for Ramirez. Milla, meanwhile, pretended she knew the entire time. I doubt she did at all, but I needed to move things along. Right. So, we'll be taking on the intruders with these. But do you think it'll be possible at all? Of course not. They're far too weak. My armor looks pretty cool, but I'm not too optimistic, no. Rimuru, I'm disappointed in you. You know I'm not too smart a girl to expect anything from these.
No. Oh no,
What
she
she
says,
says-
I'm
You know I'm too smart a girl to expect anything of these. No, I think it was more accurate to say it the other way around, but yeah. Just as I thought, they were spouting off whatever popped into their minds. Why were Ramirez and Millam acting so haughty with me? That set me off a bit, but I needed to act my age here. Well, the story doesn't end when you create them. The real show begins now. So I'd like all of you to sit down and relax, okay? Now, what I'd like you to do is point your pseudo-souls at your monster and chant "Possess" out loud. There were some incredulous looks, but they all settled into their seats for me. We had some pretty comfy chairs in this conference room. The cushioning was excellent. Then, all at once, "Possess!"
Possess.
Okay. The moment we all said it together, the pseudo-souls in our hands lit up, and as they were absorbed into the monsters, fusing with the master cores inside them. This resulted in a complete avatar core, and when it was done, my consciousness blacked out. In another moment, my view had changed. My magic sense, something I had on at all times, immediately shrank down in range, drastically affecting my vision. I had my 5 simulated senses now, so it was still far better than my first few days in this world, but the other 3 had never experienced anything like that, so it must have been a bear to deal with. I looked around as I thought about this. In my hazy vision, I could see a skeleton stretching out its legs, a slime zooming around at surprising speed, and a suit of living armor methodically toddling around like a classic wind-up robot. All 3 of them had successfully possessed their monster. Even now I could feel myself getting used to this body. It felt far more natural than anticipated, like it was my own body. A body that was far less capable than my own, however, so it was hard to move around. But once you figured out how you moved, it got easier to predict how your body would react to your will. You didn't need long at all to move it exactly as intended. The same was true for the other 3. "This is great!" After a few minutes of testing out their new bodies, they all shouted in unison. "Isn't it? What do you think of my research, huh? Amazing! Truly amazing, Rimuru!" Veldora cried. "That's classic Rimuru, isn't it? No wonder I thought you were such a great guy," Ramirez agreed. "I knew it all along," said Millam. "I've always believed in you." They were hopelessly wrapped around my finger, but hey, glad they're happy. Well, looks like we've got a resounding success, and now that you've all jumped into these monster bodies, I don't think I need to explain what we have to do I? Veldora chuckled. "Such a silly question. So instead of having the monsters do our bidding, we'd take matters into our own hands. What a creative idea, Rimuru." "Exactly," I replied, although I wish I could have tried conquering the labyrinth in this form. "So this is what a video game is like. I've heard about this." "What?
Well, more VR, but...
Is that true, Veldora?" said Millam. "Master, so we'll beat up the enemy like this then? And then we can make these bodies learn new things, too?" Ramirez jumped in. Gotta hand it to Veldora. He immediately guessed what I wanted to do. Yes, this was basically a pseudo MMORPG, although there wasn't anything too massive about our party of 4. Maybe just MMORPG. Then it doesn't matter. The key thing here, the concept, was that we could now enjoy the very labyrinth we expended the effort to build. Hee. Well put, Veldora. You can nearly read my mind, I see. But don't get the wrong idea yet. Yes, I developed this with an eye toward playing the labyrinth like a game, but we have other business first, don't we? Quahaha! We do! We need to use these bodies to dispatch the challengers. I mean, the intruders causing us problems, then. He got it all right. Yes, I thought about using these avatars, these monster bodies, to interfere with Green Fury's rapid advancement. And like Ramirez said, I had thought of several ways to enjoy these bodies, leveling up to evolve them, learning how to fight with the restricted skills they had, and so on. Still, what I really wanted to do was go have fun beating up monsters and challengers. I had no idea I'd invent something so useful just to make that happen. Of course, once everything was ready, I was just thinking that we could enjoy conquering our own labyrinth as well, I said. Ah, right. We'll be able to test out our work, huh? Mm-hmm. And with these avatars, we can't exercise our full powers, right? So I thought it'd help us get another perspective on problems in the labyrinth. Yes! True, and the master of the labyrinth is taking on challengers. Himself. Some people might see that as unseemly, but copying my soul into a weaker beast like this, right. This way we can beat up intruders as regular old labyrinth denizens, not as true dragons or demon lords. What? 3 demon lords and a true dragon. That's pretty fucking massive. I don't know, man. They literally depowered themselves. They went from level 3000 to probably level 20 right now. So I'd say they took kind of a power descaling pretty significantly. And they're going up against like level 50 characters right now. So. Okay. Now I get it. This sounds fun. Millum was certainly convinced, given the nearly infinite power she lobbed around all the time. A much more inconvenient form must have seemed novel to her. She looked really excited about it. Well, shall we spring into action? Yes. Why not clean up the garbage before enjoying our own game? Said Veldora. The time has come to fully stretch out my arms, I'd say. Oh, the time has come to fully stretch out my arms, I'd say, said Ramirez. I can't wait to test all 48 of my finisher moves. I'm not sure how any of this works, but this seems kind of fun to me, Millum cheered. We all triumphantly stood up. Time to go down there, get in Green Fury's way, and ensure they couldn't challenge the bottom floors for a little while. How would we do that? Well, I had a few other schemes in mind. First, we needed to get used to our avatars. After that, the next important thing was equipment. We all put on our resurrection bracelets with infinite charges, ensuring we could die as much as we wanted, but that wasn't enough. Our avatars were freshly born and extremely low level. Oh, I'm sorry, they're level 5, not 20.
Smaller.
Pushovers like us wouldn't deter Green Fury no matter how well we surprised them. If we had some decent equipment, though... Right, we'll definitely want to get some equipment together. Let's go to Kurobe and have him craft some weapons and armor. Ah, yes, indeed. I'm a mere skeleton as it is, after all. Hehe, you fools, I'm a slime built for speed and mobility now. I could work just fine in the labyrinth. I'm just a suit of armor. Can I put more armor on top of this? Oh, we could figure something out. Let's just head over, and if you don't need equipment, Millum, just stay here. Don't give me that nonsense. I can hold my own as is, but I still need some gear. Talk about selfish. She should have just said so. I wanted some equipment as well, so I prepared to undo the possession and leave. To go back, just picture the word separate in your mind. That'll bring you back. I gave them a quick demo, putting the avatar core in my pocket as I taught them. The avatar cores had the monster encoded in them once per core, or one per core, and they couldn't be shared between different people. These cores were a second self for you, really, so I wanted to be sure people took good care of them. With these, I added, you'll be able to call on your second form anytime you like. Pretty neat item, definitely. We'll need to think about what to do with them while we're busy possessing. Veldora and Ramirez, back in their original bodies, stood up from their chairs. Maybe fit it with our bracelets so we don't lose them? Suggested Veldora. That's a good idea, I think I'll do that, said Ramirez. They both played around with the avatar cores in their hands. I think I'll do that with mine as well, but what about Millam? Hey, Millet! I'm gonna go like this. Before I could call for her, Millam, in her slime form, was digging her way into my pocket. Okay, let's go, she shouted, bossing me around and demonstrating her utter lack of interest in listening to me. She must have really liked that body. Pretty childish of her. Pretty childlike of her. Which, yeah, she is a child. Calling a child childish wasn't very constructive, so I gave up on scolding her and got going. We were at Kurobe's workshop. You there, Kurobe? Oh, Sir Rimuru, what brings you here today? Kurobe came right up when I asked for him. Seeing Veldora and Ramirez with me surprised him. Well, we're looking for some weapons, I said as we walked inside. I hadn't been around for a while, but the workshop definitely had more people now, monsters included. It was scorching hot as usual. Temperature didn't affect me, so it was fine, but working in here must have been grueling for the others. Looks like you've hired some more apprentices. Yeah, luckily. They still need practice, but some of them are pretty talented. Some of them looked up as they heard us talking in the workshop. Once they saw who I was, they leaped to their feet and bowed at me. Seeing all of them do that at once startled me, but Kurobe was used to it. It's not break time yet! Get back to work! His ornery shouting drove his staff to return to their jobs, but I kind of understood their thought process. If you're sitting at your cube and the CEO comes walking in out of nowhere, you'd be nervous too, especially if you were on the bottom rung. Maybe it didn't feel that way to me, but I was the ruler of this nation. I hadn't let it concern me before now, but maybe I should have given more advanced warning as a rule. Coming in casually like this might have just caused trouble for everyone. Whenever a district manager or whatever came to view our workplace in my old world, we'd always spend the previous day cleaning up the whole office to prepare. If it was the president, then no mistakes would be tolerated. The higher up you went, the more it unnerved people when you got all casual with them, I guess. Still, I didn't want every trip out to be filled with pomp and circumstance. I hated to call Kurobe out of his busy work schedule. Better for me to just show up whenever he's free. Sorry I barged in without any warning. I think I'm going to make a regular habit of it for a little while, so no need to get all tense, okay? Thus, I decided to address the staff. Maybe them being too casual with me would be a problem, but there was no need to be on pins and needles around me. I loved acting like a boss, but I didn't make a hobby out of inconveniencing people. If the other person's too nervous to react to me, that bothered me too. Gobta's obliviousness was just right. Just keep in mind the acronym TPO, time, place, occasion, and it was easier to find the right approach. My advice seemed to relieve the staff a bit. Once I was sure of that, I nodded and went into a room deeper inside the workshop. I wasn't aware of this, by the way, but the apprentices weren't anxious just because I was a demon lord. While I wasn't paying attention, someone had held a Tempest popularity contest, and apparently I had been voted into the top 3 idols alongside Shuna and Shion. A surprising result, they told me. Ramirez and Millam were in the rankings as well, and while I won't say exactly where, I can tell you that Millam and I were way ahead of Ramirez. I wasn't sure where to whine about it or marvel at how my town's grown. I wasn't sure whether to whine about it or marvel at how my town's grown. Either way, hearing about it later made my eyes roll. Oh boy. Stretchy. Okay.
Stretch.
Oh god. It's going to take forever for us to get through this, isn't it?
We still got exercises.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there it is. 146 and we're at 131. Okay, not too far.
Okay.
Sonic, it is your turn.
All right.
Please don't trip, fall, and break your tongue. Everybody keep an ear out.
It's been a long time.
It has been. It's been a while.
So what kind of stuff do you need? In his personal chamber, Kurobe got straight down to business. Well, we're really dragging it out now. We all went over the hopes we had. I'm intending to have Graham build the armor. Garm? Oh, sorry. Garm build the armor. So I think it'd be neat if you could collaborate again.
Already went from Graham to Garm.
Yeah.
What a cracker.
True. You're a tail. You're a tail. Anyway. Yeah, true. All right. Let's go bother Graham about it.
Garm.
So as we took. Fucking.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Garm?
Mm-hmm.
Garm's workshop. I won't end up causing a similar commotion over there, but I'll skip describing it. Equipment for monsters? Wow. You always have the craziest projects for me, don't you? As Garm groused about it, the four of us all possessed our avatars to demonstrate for him. All right, we'll make you exactly what you want. No, even better. Yes, we're on the case. I love a nice creative project like this. I'll try to craft some stuff that'll never work on a human. I don't know. Yeah. Kurome and Garm both readily agreed to the project. And really, I couldn't wait to see what they came up with. They'd say... Oh, sorry. Another page. They said the work would be done in several days. So, in the meantime, we trained ourselves to get more used to our avatars. Nothing too complex. Fighting monsters in the labyrinths, upper levels, attacking oblivious newbie adventurers. Over the past few days, we had grown adept at dividing up our roles. Reaching that point, though, was a slog. At first, we even lost to beginner parties up top. We'd also get wiped out by traps, which would probably be funny for us later, but definitely wasn't at the time. And do other stupid things. We tried using magic items to keep traps from deploying and stuff. Even it was Ramirez who kept setting them off, with Veldoa usually suffering as the hapless victim. I floated, meanwhile, and Millum could stick to the ceiling. Pitfalls weren't a concern for us two, so we forgot to warn the others about them. This was a mistake, I'll admit. But, Ramirez, seriously? Why are you setting off traps? We made sure to give her an earful about it, and I think she deserved it. Though, through all the pain, we skipped out on sleeping and keeping on train. This seems very familiar to actual, MMO grinding and getting into a game. In battle, teamwork was the most important thing. Normal parties would talk to one another or give signals with their eyes. But we had pretty much none of those skills at all. We had Veldora and Millum with us, after all. Two people who were the strongest in the world all by themselves. What we did have, however, was one cheat-level skill, thought communication, letting us stay in touch and give orders with pinpoint accuracy. I was the party's command post. Vildora, Millum, and Ramirez serving at as my hands and feet. Thanks to that, we began to rapidly build ourselves, eventually gathering some decent experience and abilities. Once we had a good footing, we patiently waited for our equipment as we fine-tuned our teamwork. As we did, we heard the news that Team Green Fury had beaten the Floor 40. Oh boy, said Ramirez. Now they've beaten the Tempest Serpent, huh? They took a pretty careful approach. The first team was about gathering intelligence. The second whittled down its energy, and then a team killed it, said Veldora. Oh, a team killed it, said Veldora. Bosses were resurrected regularly, of course, but if a boss successfully beat a party, that didn't erase its current damage or state of exhaustion. If a group of people had the right teamwork, this gave them a clear advantage. That was a mistake. Bosses really need a way to heal. Yeah, but those monsters work strictly on instinct, so... Oh. Yeah, but those monsters work strictly on instinct, so... As Veldora saw it, they lacked the intelligence to use healing items anyway, making it a moot point. He was right, but we weren't out of options. Why don't we bring it up with Trainee, I suggested. The labyrinth managers can heal monsters, can't they? Oh, right, I'll do that. So we decided to have Trainee's sisters heal bosses if they were involved in a consistent streak of battles all at once. Little by little, we were addressing and solving the labyrinth's issues. And then, they're about ready to hit floor 49. What do we do, Rimuru? Milla was on the verge of panic. But she was right. Green Fury would reach their most climactic battle yet as soon as tomorrow. Well, we may not have our equipment at the moment, but I'd say our teamwork is golden, said Vilda. I reread that. It's the moon thing. I don't know who's voicing who. Well, yeah, we may not have our... Yeah, we may not have our... I have a problem with reading for it. Maybe that's my thing.
It's okay. I get you.
Well, we may not have our equipment at the moment, but I'll say our teamwork is golden, said Veldora. Shall we try taking them now? I'm game. Time to use my arms of steel to beat them into a pulp, Ramirez crowed. Those two were always out for blood. Honestly, though, I don't think we stood much of a chance in a clean fight. For now, Floor 49, packed with the most devious traps I ever devised, was our only real chance of messing with them. Well, so be it. Maybe we can scrounge up some weapons. Even if Kirby and Garm provided us with the best possible gear, or best gear possible, we probably wouldn't take a frontal approach with them. It certainly up our chances a lot, but we could probably hold our own anyway. But when I was about to comment, I heard a knock on the conference room door. Sir Rimuru, came Shion's refreshing voice. Excuse me. Kurobe, he said he's ready. Our parties looked at one another and grinned. Our specialized avatar equipment was complete. I was given a death size and Hell's Garment, 2 magic items that even ghosts could wear. I don't know why. I'm falling through. Goose. That even Goose... Did I say Goose?
You said Goose.
Goose.
I thought he said ghost.
Goose with the 2
you
O's.
But you started with like ghosts.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
they're goose. Well, it makes sense for Reamer, actually. He is a slime, he's gooey, and he's possessing a ghost. So.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Goosed.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, we'll call him the goose.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Veldora got the Death Blade and Hell Maul, although with Mail? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell Maul.
Mail to Maul. That sounds better. I don't know. With a Hell Gate shield to complete the picture. As a slime, Millum could only equip simple objects, swallowing up a death silhouette and covering her body. stiletto. Ah,
Mhm.
stiletto, and covering her body with a crimson cape. The moment she did, her body grew a pair of blood red wings. Quite a transformation. See? She gleefully shouted. It's really true. You need to equip your items or else they won't work. Yeah, great. If she was happy, I was happy. Finally, Ramirez, she had ordered the heavy full plate armor, which looked like a work of art, but we weren't sure if she could even equip it. Nervous, she possessed her living armor and tried to take it up. And at that very moment, she switched armors. With a clatter, her own tin suit crashed to the ground, turning into dust and vanishing into the wind. She had upgraded from living armor to heavy living armor. Not an evolution, more like a total replacement. What? Wow! This is so much easier to move in! She was right. Her old creaky gat was more smooth and ninja-like. It helped her teamwork a lot. Or it'd help with her teamwork a lot. I was sure. Funny to think a suit of armor's features could affect the way you moved, though. Kind of an unexpected discovery. Elated, Ramirez now had to select a weapon and shield. Haha! I don't need no stupid shield, was her opinion. So she opted for a large two-handed weapon instead, the Death Axe. The power it packed made it the ultimate in weapons. Wielding it was tricky. But, oh well, not my problem. She got picked on all the time for being a wimp, so maybe this'll assuage her ego a little? I don't know that word. Assuage, thank you. Her ego a little. Funny how her personality kept coming out like that. So we're all decked out in brand new equipment. These weapons and armor were all on the level of a unique item. But since they were heavily modified for use by monsters, they were more novelty items than anything. For beginners like us, however, they were crazily overpowered. What's more, they had a type of curse applied that registered our names to them. Thus, they could never get stolen. What's up?
There seems to be a lot of words that he's unfamiliar with. I feel like we need to get, like, for Christmas, we need to get him, like, some read-along stories. So he could be familiar with, like, a lot of these words. Because I'm like, all right, I realize I've been around for a while. I'm 41, so assuage is a word that I'm used to hearing.
I've not heard that word before.
Wow.
I'm not seeing the word, is more per se.
That's probably part of it. So it's like you hear a word, but you haven't seen it before. And I'm like, yeah, I get that.
I didn't put a face to the picture, basically.
No, or you haven't actually seen the letters all typed out in a row. You haven't seen them all spelled out. So it's like, all right, man, maybe we should get like a read along type situation going on with like a proper fucking book.
Frog.
Like no, and not one of these like little fucking kindergarten books, like a proper fucking novel, guys. Okay, like a proper novel.
Yeah.
Sausage. Sausage. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sausage.
Well, I was gonna say you could get like just a book that has a audiobook that goes with it and just listen and read.
Is there an audiobook for Slime?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Like, there is one online, but it's on YouTube. They have like fan translation.
No, I don't think that's the same. No, we're not supporting that. We're not supporting. Yeah, that's not the same. It's illegal. We're not supporting. I mean, technically speaking, that's what we do, but like we're fuck ups.
Yeah.
And we're providing commentary. Like we're doing a service. All right, please keep going.
I was just gonna say one thing. Like I haven't had to read out loud since middle school, so
clearly,
that's part of it.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say how, but then I was like, I voluntarily did college. I voluntarily took the Macbeth role when we read Macbeth in English lit, and
the McDonald's role.
I brought it on myself.
I'm looking for the word assuage now, because like now I'm looking for stuff because I had to.
Yeah, like reading lines off of like for a character, it's different, but yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, it's
not. I mean, you have a director there for some of that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, I could say it out loud first and then go back through it.
All right. So where the
Not
fuck
doing
is
it.
Assuage at? I'm looking for this now.
Well, you have, it's hard to say because you have a different book, quote unquote, than we do.
Yes, I know. But all right. So we're past. Who boy
Just
said
wait for you to go a
Ramirez?
little. It's like a little bit above the paragraph that says, "So we were all decked out in brand new equipment."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, need a blank to see where. Curse thus, we can never get it. Okay. So I know
This will
where I'm at.
assuage her ego a little.
Sweet.
Above that part, huh?
To assuage her ego a bit. Like, what is that? It means to like boost
Ramirez,
her ego.
haha.
It's like, why not just use? I don't know.
To assuage her ego, to like pat her ego.
To boost it, sort of.
Well, no, boost would probably be more than assuaging the ego is like kind of a mild thing.
It says
Boosting,
make less intense. So
Yeah,
soften.
yeah. It's like the soften the
ego.
ego, soften the ego. It's
Oh, so
actually
the opposite of
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Patting down the ego. A mild rebuffing of the ego, assuaging her ego. Decked out in unique armor. So it's above that paragraph. Because I see the
Yes.
decking.
Yeah,
I see
all
the.
decked
So,
Yeah.
like, this paragraph starts with 3 dots, was her opinion, so she opted for a large two-handed weapon.
Okay, I see where it is. Okay, opted for
Axe,
the
yeah,
death
right.
axe.
Yeah, and then we're all decked out. We got through that paragraph, and then
Decked out. Okay, so wielding it was tricky. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so the reason for that is because that paragraph goes from page 134 to 135 in the middle of that paragraph for me. Yeah, that's why. Okay. Okay, there's assuage her ego a little. Okay, and then you have one sentence left in this paragraph. All right, I see where we're at now. Go for it.
it was the best of times. I'm sorry, it was the best equipment. It was the worst equipment.
Yes.
We
It's just
could have
that-
possibly asked for.
It's just that it's terribly comfortable. I think they'll all be wearing them in the future.
It was the best of armor. It was the worst of armor. And it gave us a new perspective on everything. It was almost time to rumble, and we couldn't have been more excited. Time for a quick check on our avatars. My ghost dropped physical offense in favor of magical and spiritual attacks. It was classed as a sorcerer, and in time, I like to maybe teach it spiritual and illusionary magic so it could make the upgrade to full-fledged wizard. Holy magic would be a nice addition too. What would happen if I placed faith in myself to drive that? That'd be a fun experiment. How much do you believe in your own self? I guess if it was Vegeta, it'd be the most powerful thing in the world.
I am the hype!
My pride, my ego is absolute. Ultra ego. You think I'd reach ultra ego?
I am the hype! Kill him! One thing.
think-
I wanted one thing today.
What about killing So?
Would you believe me if I said this was more important? I'd be shocked otherwise.
I was expecting one of you other two to finish the line. How could you? You failed me.
Sorry, I was just sipping through my mind like as I reveal my giant monkey. Oh,
Four. Oh, thank God!
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
my god, I thought he
thought-
meant penis.
Why
There we go.
are you, of all people, thinking about monkeys?
that's a good question.
You
Because
filthy
I am one.
monkey!
I mean,
Ah, hey.
to be fair, you could be worse. I mean, we have the guy right above him that was out here talking about the White King earlier.
Not wrong.
The King of
At
the
least he
Whites.
wasn't a grand wizard.
Or Adelman.
I mean, I thought it. I mean,
Sorry.
he was the king of the.
White.
He's the king of the whites, but you know, we thought that was Donald Trump, but that was we realized we realized he was far too orange.
Between... Sorry, it caught me off guard. I was just watching Sonic's face and then.
The king of we thought that would be Donald Trump, but then we realized he's just far too orange.
Oh yeah, the little like I see what you did there.
Guys, we don't actually care. Guys, we don't actually care about politics. We're just making color jokes.
It's a joke. It's joke.
God.
It's joking. We're joking.
It's all joking. We're having a good time.
Indeed.
Let's go back to making fun of me not being able to read, okay? Let's stop your politics.
Shmeh shmeh.
Yeah, shmee.
Shmeh shmeh shmeh. Shmeh
Veldora's
shmeh.
skeleton was an all-rounder, capable of various kinds of
Of attachés.
Okay, in fairness to that one, it's
No.
dash attacks on the next
No.
line.
No, I'm just making up shit. You're fine. You're
I
fine.
know, I know.
Attaché.
I needed to
Anyway, come on.
Alright. Shmeh.
Shmeh shmeh.
I got the giggles.
The shmeh face. Put your shmeh face on. Shmeh.
I can't. Shmeh.
Shmeh.
Oh, that actually does work. Wow. It was a fighter class. I think he wanted to teach it magic so it could become a magic knight later. Millum Slime, meanwhile, was geared entirely for speed and for landing telling blows in a single strike. It's a fucking slime. I just like the idea of it's like Millum Slime it's a fucking slime. I don't know. I just have fun with that. Wish fulfillments for her, I suppose. Her class was assassin, and maybe I could have Soe give her some training, but I didn't want to occupy his time with our dumb little make-believe fun here. Her basic strategy involved lunging down on foes from the ceiling. Powerful strike if it worked, but what did she intend to do if I didn't?
Or if it didn't.
Or hang on. But what if I did intend, or what did she intend to do if I didn't? Run? I suppose. She certainly was fast enough for it, in a way. So she was the ideal slime fighter. Kind of weird coming from the actual slime, you know? Anyway. Finally, as you'd expect, Ramirez's heavy living armor was an attacker with more than ample defense, giving it a lot more stability than I originally gave her credit for. The class was Berserker, and while she was no crazed warrior, defending herself was never really a priority in Ramirez's approach. As a dangerous attack-orientated creature. That was the name she was given. Once she got used to things, I could picture her as a tank, providing a twin wall of defense with Veldora. We were all set to go. Given that we never got hungry, long, dragged-out battles were our lone major advantage. Let's do our best so we can get in Green Fury's way. Such as our thoughts as we were set off. But, well, we set them running so fast the actual battle was a total letdown. If you threw away all emotion and ran a completely impartial third party analyze and assess on our avatars, you'd realize that we were probably already pushing an A in rank. Our equipment was more than half the reason for that, but even without it, as long as we made up good use of our powers, nothing could stop us. The main oversight we made was that our own personal battle experience was reflected in our avatar. We couldn't use all our skills, but things like thought communication and hastened thought were themselves enough to give us a decisive edge. Plus, we could cast magic so quickly that it was really unfair. Our restricted magicules blocked us from using much of it, but we had the knowledge for it, and thus we could handle magic better than even your average court sorcerer. So are they Smurfs?
What?
Like, you know, like
they're
Smurf
accounts. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like the fucking
the actual
cartoon.
Smurfs. Yeah. No. You just picture a bunch of Smurfs.
I guess that makes sense.
Walking into the
This
labyrinth.
is the best way to describe it to somebody else, is that they're Smurf accounts.
They were accidental Smurfs.
Mm-hmm.
This came with no casting time, so we could engineer tandem magic strikes with practically zero lag time. Our foes had no chance to react.
Veldora, meanwhile, was such a genius with his sword, was like he had eyes in the back of his head. My Veldora-style death stance gives me instant access to an infinite number of sword skills. Oh wait, this doesn't work.
God damn it.
He was trying to imitate the moves he saw in the manga he read. I thought he was just screwing around, but some of his moves were actually kind of plausible. I'm actually kind of wondering that he's trying
You can't use Bankai in this world, you dumbass!
Oh, I thought I don't know. Are you thinking Bleach? I was thinking like One Piece with Zoro.
Death stance.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Why?
Rurouni Kenshin
Yeah.
or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's more of guessing what manga he's referring to.
Hiei in Yu Yu Hakusho, you know? Maybe
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Zoro has infinite sword skills.
Well, he has only the one sword though, or the three.
Yeah, he's
swords.
one sword style, that 3-sword style.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I haven't even seen him do zero
that's true.
sword.
Anyway,
Yeah, he could-
you haven't? Zora's done 0-sword style.
No, I have seen it. That's why I said.
Yeah. Alright.
Anyway, his power was off the charts to start with, of course, so he should have expected anything and everything for him. Treating this whole thing seriously at all now seemed silly. Milim was exactly as blazing fast as she set out to be. Even speeds that nobody else had a chance at controlling were no problem with her reflex. I really had no idea slides could move that fast if they tried. Sliding frictionless across the ground with enough elasticity to bounce off walls and lunge at foes. That worked just as well off the ceiling, too. Your average person would have trouble even following her with their ears.
Eyes.
Or eyes. I don't know why. As a slime
I know,
myself,
my ears are on the front of my face, too.
I'm like hearing myself through someone's thing and it's throwing me off a little.
You're hearing it off of me.
Yeah, probably. I need to turn you down slightly.
You know, just don't be so goddamn loud, you know.
I try to adjust my mic. I try.
You could get further away from it. That also helps too.
Well, the other thing is that you have 1 minute.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You've been
okay.
piddling.
Oh no, your average person had trouble even following her with their eyes. As a slime myself, these new discoveries were a huge shock. Oh, okay. Slow, too slow. Face my you chump. She was getting excessively carried away as she dropped down on her foe's back, stabbing with her death
Stiletto.
stiletto. I'm just picturing slime with like just a high heel stiletto. It's just like a pink
A
version of
stiletto
it.
is a kind of dagger.
Yeah, it's a
I
dagger.
know, but I'm picturing the high heel. Shoe.
Okay,
She's just
well.
carrying a shoe around.
Take us to the end now. Shim.
All right.
Okay.
Shame.
Shim.
That was worth it. It was worth it.
Her body was largely impervious to physical attack. If you want to cast magic against her, you needed to capture her in your sights first. Think about it, and you'll realize that Milim's slime was a pretty scary enemy to face. But what let Veldora and Milim truly shine? Shrine? Oh, I think
See, yeah, that's just
Yeah.
me doing it now.
No, it says shrine.
Does
Truly
it?
shrine was Ramirez, the unsung hero of the pack. Hurrah! Time to be crushed! Ramirez's battle strategy was pretty simple.
Oh,
Find an enemy, run straight at it, and stage a full frontal attack. This would be a bad idea for most, an imbecilic strategy, but in our case, it was the way to go. She never listened to any of my advice anyway, so I figured we might as well take advantage of her. She'd be our tank, our diversion, and the remainder of the party could get on the attack then. Normally, that wouldn't work too well, but Ramirez ran around like a daredevil, never bothering to defend herself. This big suit of armor sprinting for you and spinning a death axe in its hands. Anyone who saw it would be forced to deal with it, and since she didn't care about defense, her attacks tended to find their target. She also had cancel pain, which helped a lot. Plus, the armor itself was pretty sturdy. A heavy full plate used what seemed like a cartload of magisteel. Weight concerns were tossed out the window with it. It came with a self-repair function as well, so most damage wasn't an issue. If a regular person put it on, they probably wouldn't be able to move at all. Having such a hefty chunk of magisteel come your way, well, I wouldn't want to be her enemy. What's more, I had recovery magic. I'd been experimenting with holy magic as part of my work, and it was surprisingly easy to deploy. It wasn't a matter of having faith in myself, so much as offering prayers in exchange for control over spiritual particles, a skill usually shut away from me. In my case, my magical power as a ghost was sent over to the real me along with the words of prayer. I was, in essence, borrowing force from my main body to cast magic. Oh,
Hacks.
yeah. These words of prayer were mainly about building up an image. When working with spiritual particles, you'd never get anywhere if you kept asking what your disciples wanted and going with that. It'd take too much calculation. All that processing work is instead applied to the people who place their faith in you. The more disciples you had like that, the more magic force you got. To put it another way, you got higher up as a god. You were also connected to your believers, and you could use those believers' minds to expand your calculation capacity. Kind of a substitution cheat that saved you magic force and time. Now I saw why Luminous sought to build more believers for herself. With a massive enough number of practitioners, she could whip up large-scale magic on a passing whim. The secret skills of faith and favor, indeed. That's some scary stuff she taught me. But enough about that. The point is, I had holy magic, and as a party, we boasted a pretty formidable force. And right now, like evil personified, we had just wiped out Team Green Fury on the 49th floor. You should never be afraid to try something new, I guess. Our frontal attack failed, so we polished our teamwork and took advantage of the traps. I set the slime doll on them, damaging their weapons. I used the slime rain to break their focus and exhaust them, and then we attacked, throwing them into the slime pool. While Ramirez's bellowing grabbed their attention, Milam sneaked up on them, breaking down their teamwork as Valdora slipped them apart and isolated their rear support. Our giant slime crushed their powerless magicians and thieves, while Valdora and Ramirez bear-hugged the remaining core members straight into the slime pool, sinking them straight down. Our aim was to destroy their weapons in the acidic goop, and once Green Fury's main weapons had corroded into useless fragments, that'd be a huge damper on their dungeon-conquering speed. Ugh! After all that swag we earned, it turned out the leader of the Sons of the Veld, the one currently whining about the equipment dissolving in her hands, was female. That surprised me, but not as much as what her companion said next. Well, maybe this timing's for the best. It was about the right moment to pack up. Yeah, our home country's calling for us anyway. I definitely heard one of the survivors from the team say that to the leader. I thought the Sons of the Veld was an independent mercenary corps, unaffiliated with any other nation. My reports stated they were being funded by someone in Inglacia, but maybe it was more like a long-term gig? The term home country indicated that they might have had more loyalty to Inglacia than a simple employer-employee relationship. I'd need to keep an eye on them. As long as we were encouraging people to use the dungeon, we'd naturally see visitors with murky origins. I was expecting that from the beginning, but we should probably give everyone another heads up about that. The whole Green Fury thing reminded me of it all over again. Besides, we did it. Yes, or yes, victory is ours. Why wouldn't it be? We are the strongest in the world. If I didn't keep these idiots in line, they'd immediately get distracted by the next victory ahead. The thought was in my mind, but right now, at least, I didn't let it get in the way of my joy. Mission accomplished.
Quick, someone play the Final Fantasy victory theme.
Yeah. Good. Fantastic.
Outstanding. Amazing.
Great.
Oh.
Good. We are at the interlude.
Continue.
Oh, okay. You want me to continue? I thought we were going to stop there.
No, dude. Why would I tell you to stop when you've literally got one,
there's only a
two,
couple more pages.
three,
Sorry.
4, 5,
Spaced out.
maybe 5 pages left total to the end of the
Sorry,
chapter?
I saw the thing.
Yeah.
All right, let me. Interlude. Maribel. Maribel had been resurrected as an otherworlder. She had memories of being a ruler in Europe. In her previous life, she had all the finances she wanted. To her, war was just another pawn for her to use. Her glory was built on misfortune, a battlefield, bullets flying, kill or be killed, a vivid hellscape bathed in blood, burnt homes, lost families, wailing people, and she never held any remorse about it. Maribel's life was a happy one, all the way to the end of her natural lifespan. And now she was here, born as a princess in the small kingdom of Celtrozo. Her family was in the ruling class, the people calling the shots in the Western nations. In this world filled with monsters and chaos, nations couldn't afford to squabble with one another. It was natural that something like the Council of the West would be formed. That council was built hundreds of years ago by Granville Rosso. The great founder of the Rosso family had a mysterious, seemingly ageless figure. He was the oldest among the 5 elders who held actual power in the council, while still serving as head of the Rossos, who had taken root in the Western nations. Even a princess directly related to Granville wouldn't have so much as a chance to see him. Maribel's own brothers, in fact, had never even met the five elders before. But Maribel was different. Her memories and her will were things Granville couldn't afford to ignore. The advance of civilization would have been impossible without the existence of money. People advanced from using crops like rice and wheat as currency to a money-based economy, pushing society forward by leaps and bounds thanks to the scale money allows. The value of money could also change. Gold and silver coins were made of metals with intrinsic value, guaranteeing that the money itself would have similar value. But now we were in an era where things like receipts and bonds and business transactions could serve as substitutes for money, the start of a paper-based economy. This will lead to the creation of banks, outposts indispensable to free exchange. You gave banks money, they gave you receipts as they diverted money to other things, lending it to those without cash and earning interest from them. That was the business model people eventually came up with, and it was a kind of it was a kind of magic more insidious than alchemy. Money in the form of interest seemingly appeared out of nowhere. Comparing the amount of cash circulating in the world and the total amount of receipts generated, there was clearly going to be a substantial amount of irrecoverable funds, as well as people in deep trouble after not being able to pay up. I thought I was reading a fantasy novel. Anyway, if you lent money and charged interest, you would always have that problem. The shift from coinage to paper currency only sped out the process. People collected money from the rich, dangling interest payments as bait. They invested it to create even more money. Business exchanges began to take place on a worldwide scale beyond national borders. Limits on the production of paper money were removed under the pat promise that the nation would be good for it all. Combine that with the exchange controls caused by power differences between nations, and the scale of the economy blew up dozens of times its original size. And Maribel was even factoring the amount of money or amount of currency produced into her calculations as she controlled the market. Much of it was a fiction, far removed from the actual economy, a bubble that was bound to pop sooner or later. In her past life as well, Maribel blew the bubble up as much as she could. Any debt she couldn't recover, she shunted off on the weaker nations to dispose of, in other words, waging wars to balance her accounts. The weaker nations thus fell, and the rich got richer. The parties being harvested for everything they had went from individuals to whole nations, but the basic process was the same. Maribel was a seasoned master at this. She was a golden child of finance in her previous life, and she had both her memories from that and the intensely powerful greed of a ruler. This manifested itself in her unique skill avarice, a sinful skill based on one of humankind's core vices. If a unique skill was a set of emotions and desires that took corporeal form, those based on a cardinal sin like greed were treated as special cases among uniques. In the case of Maribel, the strongest member of the Roseau family since the day she was born, that truth was obvious. The avarice skill let her hold sway over people's desires. She could literally see them, and the bigger the desire, the easier she found it to rule over them. Everyone had desires, of course, and stoking these desires let Maribel control them any way she wanted. And little by little, she used that to slowly build her audience of sympathizers. There was no urgency to act, or urgent need to act. Observing the people around her, she could tell that the standards of civilization in this world were pretty low. There was a money-driven economy, but still a single currency that circulated across the whole of it. There were no language barriers. Everything was different from the last world. But, in a way, the environment was perfect for her to take advantage of. To Maribel, the whole world seemed like a sandbox, ready for her to play in. Yes, I am destined to descend upon this world as its rightful ruler. Ruling this world to Maribel was a natural goal to have. Once she was older and had the right to speak up, the world was hers for the taking. But until then, she thought, the fewer people who knew about her ambitions, the better. Ever so carefully, she made sure no one could guess her true nature from her behavior. When she was 3 years old, she had her first audience with Granville. So, you're Maribel? Yes, grandfather. It is a pleasure to meet you. It wasn't a 3-year-old's usual way to greet someone, but Maribel had accounted for that in her calculations. Granville wasn't like the other rabble skulking around the palace. To her, even her father, the king, was just another pawn. Her brothers, her wet nurse, her servants, and everyone else, as she read their desires, she methodically brought them under her rule. But Granville was different. He was above all that. Why didn't you try to control me? Granville asked, seeing that Maribel had promptly dropped the act. There was no familial kindness to it. All that existed was the relationship between the ruler and the ruled. It was then that Maribel learned her instincts were correct. If she had tried to deceive Granville, she likely would have been killed on the spot. Not even Maribel's avarice skill was omnipotent. It could be resisted. After repeated, gradual attempts, it might have been possible to bring Granville under her rule, but he wasn't the kind of man to allow that. Maribel was confident of that, so she decided to be honest. No matter how things played out, she would need partners, and along those lines, Granville could potentially be the greatest partner she'd ever have. I can see people's desires. I mean, literally see them, and prodding them allows me to make them do my bidding. But you're not like the others, grandfather. You have a greater ambition than anyone else. But you've also got a will strong enough to bottle it up. So, so you've seen that far, little girl. Or should I call you Maribel? Who are you, anyway? Me? I'm Maribel. Maribel the Greedy. I like it. Declaring your very presence before me, are you? The head of the Rosa family liked Maribel. In time, they opened up to each other, sharing in secrets they knew. Granville knew about the politics surrounding the Western nations as well as the demon lords who ruled the world. Maribel knew about her previous world, as well as avarice skills she acquired in this one. To her, this was the gamble of a lifetime. Her brain was one thing, but her body was still that of a 3-year-old. As she saw it, it'd be difficult to survive all on her own. No matter what it takes, no matter what, I need to firm up my position. And to do that, she needed to prove to Granville Rosso, the local kingpin, that she was useful. Instinctively, she understood that that was the best thing she could do right now to set herself up as a ruler, and the gamble paid off. Maribel, if something happens to me, I want you to inherit my ambitions. What I seek in this world is peace. We must reach a world of universal equality under the rule of the Rosso family. Yes, grandfather, I understand. I promise I will provide you with my full cooperation. Thus, this unlikely pair forged a bond that none other could enjoy. The family founder and the little girl, the alliance between a former hero and one whose avarice knew no bounds. Granville spent the next several years guiding Maribel, instructing her on the full array of Rosa holdings and co-conspirators. He also revealed the true identity of the god Luminous, as well as his own secrets. The underground dealings he engaged in to protect his seat in the 7 Days clergy, as well as how the demon lord Luminous's power was what truly kept the Western nations safe. He told her everything, and now, at the age of 10, Maribel was second only to Granville in power, using her skills to the fullest to take action against Rimuru. Let's see.
And there you go.
That's it. Yep.
That's
3.
chapter 2
Or chapter 2.
finished. We start chapter 3 next week. Yeah! So yeah. Oh man, can't wait to get in on that.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
There's some interesting dominoes they're setting up, so it's like,
Oh yeah, some very interesting.
I forgot that there were other
those
equals
two is
at
gonna be
work.
interesting.
There are dominoes, pizzas. What?
I was so caught up in world building, dungeon building that I was like, oh yeah, there are other evils afoot. I forgot.
Thinking you could control slime.
So good.
You can control a slime with that one that Mel
The
has
illusion
now.
of control, as they say.
The illusion, indeed. Right, nobody that we know is technically streaming. Well, nobody that Fat Dog knows is streaming. There's somebody that I know that's streaming and somebody that's reacted to our content. So may plug them if they're doing stuff that we can. Okay, so they're gonna be playing Dead by Daylight, so I think we can do that. So long as they're not No, they're doing Fortnite, which is fine too. So long as they're not reacting to content,
To mine own.
and I'm not plugging, because they were reacting to anime on Twitch, and I'm like, I don't think we can plug that. But if they're playing video games, I think we're okay. I think we're okay to plug that. We can come in with a raid on them. So we'll probably hit up Director Nasty. He has reacted to 6. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's reacted to 6 episodes of Log Horizon Abridged, so we'll probably raid him after our exercises and stuff have been redeemed. Let me check on those. What do we got? What do we got here? 30. Yeah, there we go. So it's just 30 of everything, which isn't so bad. Yeah. All right. So I guess we start off with the squats. 30 squats.
Okay.
Why did your lights turn off, Moon?
Because I took off my headphones, I accidentally hit the chain. Alright. 30. You 30.
All right, squats have been redeemed. Now, what's the next thing? I guess those will be heel touches. Give me a moment. I gotta use the restroom. Oh boy.
Which one is next?
Heel touches.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Actually. I know no one can see me, but I'm trying to do them. I'm trying to be honest.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Had to tinkle for a second. Revan literally is just telling me to hydrate after I finish peeing. No.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so heel touches. 30 of those. Ugh. Okay, finish the heel touches. You already done with them too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Next would be sit-ups, crunches, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
30 crunches.
Okay. Wait.
Oh boy. Okay, finish that.
I'll be right back.
30 seconds of planks.
Right here we go.
Okay. 30 seconds of planks. And now I shall do my push-ups.
Alright, what's the next one? Huh? Oh, it's push-ups. Okay.
There we go. 30. Done. Whew.
Okay.
What's after that?
Did you finish the push-ups? That was it. Did you?
All right.
Did you finish the? Did you finish the? Did you do the
Heel touches?
30 seconds of planks?
I did.
Oh.
Okay,
No,
that's
not
I
yet.
started them at the same time you did.
okay. Well, then that's basically it.
I'm gonna get some post-workout after this. Maybe some Waffle House.
This is to work off the Waffle House.
Well, I had to skip lunch today.
Well, you shouldn't have a big dinner. You should always have a light dinner. You definitely shouldn't eat breakfast for dinner.
I had
You got him cereal.
popcorn chicken before this.
There you go. That's dinner.
Yep.
Yeah,
I just
but
had some
haven't eaten
noodles,
anything
one
else.
shrimp, and some vegetables.
So eat a light dinner.
I haven't eaten anything all day.
So
Not
eat
bad,
a
but yeah.
so eat a light dinner. No need to go to the awful waffle.
Waffle House.
Fasting is a thing.
No need to go to the awful waffle. Make healthy decisions. Go to Waffle House.
Look, I make
Gotta know
healthy
how to fight.
decisions through my entire week. I'm allowed a cheat day every now and then.
Every now and then. If you're gonna do a cheat day, go somewhere better than Waffle House. Jesus Christ, they're better
It is
cheat
fucking
places.
Stone.
midnight.
Cold Stone. Go to Cold Stone.
Yeah.
Well, or Wendy's.
Midnight.
Wendy's is also good midnight food.
Taco
You
Bell.
can get that. Taco Bell.
If Wendy's is open, I might actually do that. A fucking bacon.
Get a midnight baconator.
Midnight Baconator,
yeah.
sir.
There you
Also,
go.
fuck you. Do Taco Bell before you go to Waffle House. Jesus Christ.
Fuck no, I hate Taco
Yeah.
Bell.
Actually, I
You could
think
do
You're
my,
weird. You're weird.
My KFC and
Get the rest of your body
Taco Bell are
up. Get the
fusing
rest of your
together.
body up here. You need to be slapped.
But he's a hand man.
You can't even slap me like this.
He's a hand man. It's naked
I'm
Sako.
candy. Gotta
Yeah.
give it to me.
So what I'm hearing right now is all he's capable of is a hand job. Yeah, it's
Well,
about
in
that
this
big.
state, would it also be a blowjob?
That's what I was about to ask. I was like, is it a handy or a blowy?
It's a blow handy. A hand and blowy.
It's a blandy.
Yeah.
Yes, a blandy. That just like we could have cookies.
Or to put it or to put it in terms or to put it in terms
Blandy.
or to put it in terms that Moon is probably more used to hearing. It's a bland job.
Ow.
That sounds good.
I've had
Like, it's
any
not
other
even
kind of
bad, but you
job
can laugh it off.
in that area.
It's not even good. It's just.
All right, guys. That's basically it. We've had.
Thanks for staying with us.
Make sure to check out Moon's coming soon Only Hands, and and we'll see you next time. We're gonna go ahead and raid Director Nasty's channel. So, we're gonna go in with the slime raid and just tell him thank you for reacting to Log Horizon Abridged.
Yes.
Yeah,
Send him
that's.
some love.
Send him some love. Tell him thank you for reacting to Log Horizon Abridged. And yeah, if you guys want to stick around and check out his channel, there you go. All right. Sending you guys over now. Start the raid.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, Red Legends.
Ready to raid in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One.
Raid now!